Welcome, guys. You're watching the VCT Game Changers APAC Stage 2 Open Overtime. Datum here, joined by the amazing Zach. And gotta tell you, Zach, super stoked to be here today.
Yeah, definitely. It's a huge matchup, and it's definitely the last chance for one of these teams today in overtime because I believe the loser of this matchup gets eliminated, where the winner still has a chance to make it to one of those top three coveted spots in FSL. I'm sorry, in VCT APAC Elite here. So I think that these teams are definitely going to be doing their best to try and make it, especially since it's going to be Nigma Galaxy
Mm.
versus Aresta here, and Nigma Galaxy especially. Like we've seen them in the Game Changers APAC scene since like the beginning, but every time they just seem to fall short of being able to make it. I think, in fact, last time they had to fight for their slot up until wildcard before they could actually make it into the elite. So I think this time they want to try and close it out a little bit earlier, and they'd definitely be looking to do that here.
Absolutely. Both teams, everything to lose. And let's take a look at the calendar of events. For those of you who don't know, there are already 3 teams qualified for Game Changers APAC Elite. And here in APAC Open Overtime, we got 3 more teams at the top 3 spots who will be qualifying for the next 3 spots in APAC Elite again. So like what Zach mentioned earlier, as Nigma Galaxy and AG Aresta both fighting for the line because this is, after all, the lower bracket run. And let's take a look at, this time at the 3 teams that already qualified. We got Alter Ego Celeste, Bren Victress, and SMG. Phenomenal performances from all of these teams in Stage 1. This time, though, Nigma Galaxy and AG Aresta, again, all cards on the line here, Zach. I mean, when you're at this pressure point where you got everything to lose, it's just, it's so much pressure. It's so hard to perform.
Oh, I completely understand. And, it's one thing if it's just, performance anxiety, but a lot of these teams have been through quite a few roster changes. In fact, I think for Aresta, especially Army Aresta, they had their two of their players leave to go join Streak Female, if I'm not wrong. So
Mm.
they had to like rebrand their entire roster, and they've been playing that way. But looking at the seeds, you can see that there are quite a few storied teams in this matchup. Of course, we have Nigma Galaxy, who is playing today. We have X10 Sapphire and Orangutan, who are in fact having a qualification
Mm.
matchup today as well, I think, while this is going on. So the winner of that match will be heading directly to Elite. They will get their card punched in. There's
Yes.
also going to be Zol Meraki versus L Streaks tomorrow, if I'm not wrong, for another qualification match. So definitely, I think out of these, we still have about half these teams in the participation with a chance of qualifying for Elite here. So yeah, it's something to watch out for. Looking
Absolutely.
at
Let's take a look at the bracket. Sorry to cut you off there, Zach, but let's take a look at the brackets right now of the teams that are competing for those slots. Like you mentioned earlier, Exton Sapphire and Orangutan in the other stream for the qualification match for Elite. But for those 2 teams, they still have the lower bracket run to look forward to. So they're just fighting for the slot right now. But the matter at hand we have today in our stream right now, Zach, is Nigma Galaxy versus AG Aresta. Again, it's a best of 3, contrary to the best of 5 in the upper bracket, where they everything's on the line here for both of these teams. And as you mentioned, Nigma Galaxy have been struggling to advance in these later on stages, have been struggling to qualify for APAC Elite, looking to make that happen now, especially with the return of Trix, who is, I believe, playing in this matchup.
I'm really happy to see Trix back because she's one of those players who's been around since the beginning of Nigma Galaxy, I think, and just one of those players you want to really watch out for when it comes to like sneaky plays. So yeah, I think that I hope that she is playing today. I think that she is going to be playing today, in fact, because the starting roster is going to be Aluka, Aya, Hanu, Gwen, and Trix, if I'm not wrong. Let's take a look at the rosters for these teams before we head into it. So looking at Nigma Galaxy here, it is going to be Trix playing today, which is really, really nice to see. But when it comes to players you really want to watch out for, of course, it's going to be Aya's name that comes up right off the top of my head, because we've seen her on Jet before. We've seen the kind of impact that she can have in that duelist slot, and definitely someone who, anybody on the server should be pretty terrified of. Aluka's just behind her as well, because we've seen how she can excel, especially since Chamber came out. She's been putting up
Mm.
one hell of a performance a lot of the times there for her team.
Absolutely. And Aloka, I would argue, is the one to put eyes on in this series in particular, because Alaka went, of course, you mentioned that her comfort on going for the chamber, but when she goes for the Reina and then she gets that momentum going, there really is not a lot of things that can stop her from popping off. But that's the thing, right? We're seeing less and less of the Reina, more priority towards the chamber in a lot of these compositions. And it does make sense because it offers a lot more versatility, a lot more defense, and of course, a lot more of that safety of being able to teleport away, even without having to get or without needing to get a kill, like something like what Reina needs to do before she can dismiss away. And let's take a look at the flip side of things now for AG Aresta's composition, or rather roster. I mean, this is a team that's got a lot of versatility. I'm telling you, man, these girls, they really, a lot of them can play a lot of roles, which is why it paves the way for so many creative compositions in a lot of these maps.
Yeah, looking at their roster, I think that Isnegi and Rudy's have been around since the beginning. But three of their players who are playing today, in fact, are going to be,
Yeah.
new here. They've just come in for overtime here, and I'm excited to see how they're going to expect, especially Cine. I hope I'm saying that right, but Cine is definitely, like you mentioned, one of those players to watch out for because again, we've seen her on a variety of roles here,
Yeah.
but man, when she gets going, she gets going, especially on that Jet and that Reina, two of the agents that she picks the most. She is something to watch out for, and it's a surprise that we haven't seen more of her in these VCT
Oh
matchups
yeah.
before. Because, looking at the way she's been performing during this overtime, she's one scary player.
Exactly. And speaking of these players, or the scariness of these players, they're just so versatile when it comes to the agent comps. Taking a look at their past uh choice when it comes to agents, and it seems like Cine is the only one that is the consistent duelist player for their roster. Every other player in the roster loves flexing. You got Rudy going for the sentinel slash controller sort of role. You got Angela, who's such a heavy fragger. It seems like no matter where you put her on, chamber jet. She even goes for the KO sometimes. And you got Izengi, who seems to fit every role you give her to. And I gotta say, really is anything could happen in this matchup, especially considering the changes with the roster of AG Aresta as well. You know what? I'm actually quite surprised about the map veto, which we will be showing in just a few seconds now. The first map is going to be, I believe, Haven. It's showing right now on the screen. The second is going to be Breeze. And this is what I'm surprised the most about. AG Aresta picking Breeze is not something I would expect considering their statistical performance in this map.
Yeah, statistically, it's not really good, but I think with the new core that they've picked up, they feel much more confident on it now. Especially because I think that they used to usually just run Yuki, one of their old players on the Reina, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Breeze is a map where while Reina is good, she's not exactly the best agent. So I think now that they've picked up Cine instead, once she's on the Jet, they're gonna be much more confident on that. And of course, Haven, as expected, it's one of Nigma Galaxy's more successful maps. They have, like, I think if I'm not wrong, a 75% win rate, so
Oh
they're
yeah.
gonna be pretty confident heading into it. And AG is starting off on defense on that map. So, like you mentioned, Breeze is a surprise pick, but assuming they can win it, it's going to be Ascent that's a decider. And that definitely is one of those maps where Aresta really shines because I think they have like a pretty high win percentage, about 73% on Ascent here, which is more than Nigma Galaxy, if I'm not wrong. Oh no, it's around the same for Nigma Galaxy. So the third map is going to be a
Yeah.
banger if it goes that far. But Breeze, I don't know. It's going to be a bit of a surprise because I don't think that Aresta have really played Breeze yet. We did see them
Yeah.
against. I think that they did play it against Fuma Gaming and they did quite well. And they went in for a double duelist comp. In fact, Tini went for the Reina and Angela went for the Jet. So I think since they were starting off on defense, they decided to play a little bit aggressively, and that really paid off for them against Fuma.
Yeah.
The question is, Nigma Galaxy, they're a bit of a stronger team, so I don't know if that same strategy is going to really work out there.
Yeah, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how both teams perform in that particular map. But I'd like to point something out in Breeze here for AG Aresta. They have a pretty interesting lineup going into their recent Breeze matches. Of course, hasn't really found as much success as they hoped it would, but in Breeze, they have a super aggressive lineup. Not only do they go for the double duelist, they triple up, so to speak, on the aggression by placing a chamber in the roster, which is not something that is common at all. Simply, you see a chamber as a replacement to a Reina, right? And then couple that up with like a Jet, especially in Breeze. But no, it seems like AG Aresta uh, like I mentioned, they have a roster that is very flexible. A lot of their members can go for those duelist role, and it's no surprise to me if they bring up a brand new composition here in all of our maps. But like I said, Haven, Nigma Galaxy, this is absolutely their comfort. This is their home. This is the map where they've had the most experience and one of the best performances in. So yeah, I'm expecting the first map, Nigma Galaxy, since they picked the map. But the second one, I'm not sure because AG Aresta, they might just pull a rabbit out of the hat here.
The thing is that I think that the new Enigma Galaxy roster did play Haven against one of their previous matchups in this overtime. They did play Haven against Hero Zero KDA, but they got kind of dominated there. I think the score
Mm.
was 13-4 to Hero Zero's favor, yeah, especially considering that this was their map pick. It was pretty rough, and I think one of the major reasons they had so much trouble was that both Aluka and Aya seemed to have some kind of trouble finding any kind of
Mm.
impact frags in that attacking half. So hopefully they seeing that they are going to be starting off on attack yet again today, they will have to try and make that space, and it's going to be a bit rough because they probably have to deal with the residual trauma that that resulted from losing that way to
Mm.
a team which they eventually beat. They did beat them on Ascent and Breeze, but nevertheless, even if Haven is a map that they are historically comfortable with, they still, they have to deal with the fact that they lost the last time they played it. So I think they are feeling pretty confident, especially with Tricks coming in today. So
Mm.
that might be the push that they need, the secret weapon in their arsenal here, because it's going to be Trick stepping in instead of Ivory, probably picking up that Killjoy role instead. And this is something that I really like from Nigma Galaxy, the fact that they still run Killjoy on Haven. It's
Yeah.
incredibly, and they make it work too.
Yeah, it's not something you see a lot more or a lot of anymore these days. And one thing that I like that is characteristic of Nigma Galaxy is that they find a lot of comfort in these big maps where it is very very frag heavy. But that's the thing, right? It's kind of like a gamble in the sense that you have to, especially when you have the double duelist as a comfort composition, because it basically relies on Aya and Aloka popping off every single time. Now, while the same is not necessarily true for AG Aresta, I feel like uh AG Aresta, they have a little bit more versatility when it comes to the compositions they can actually put out. But man, I just gotta Nigma Galaxy, when they get that momentum, it's really hard to stop them. So I don't know what Age Aresta is going to bring out in this Haven map to stop that from happening, because it seems like really that is the only thing that prevents Nigma Galaxy from popping off is when they don't get that momentum.
Yeah, I think the last time that Nigma Galaxy played as well, they eventually found their momentum because they did. I think that the three maps that we are seeing today, they're the exact three maps that they played against Hero Zero KDA.
Mm.
So I think they were close maps, but nevertheless, they still managed to take Ascent and Breeze both. And again, I really like the Breeze comp coming in from them because they run a Sage. I don't know if we'll be seeing the same because it was Ivory on the Sage, and we are seeing Trick sub in today or play today. But nevertheless, like I like that they play that Sage because it lets them wall off a particular area of the map and they don't have to worry about it for like 30-second stops. It gives them a little bit more aggression. When they're pushing in, they can just use the wall to get in, even if the Viper utility is down. So it provides a little bit more flexibility. And of course, there is the nice little heal that you get. If you get dinked or something to 140, you can always get top back up.
Yeah.
And that's just really good in these matchups. So something I'm looking out for. And especially a player that, we talked about Aluka and Aya, but as sometimes somebody that I really think is a relatively new pickup for Nigma Galaxy, who's doing really well, I'd say, is Gwen here. So,
Mm.
we've seen her on that Sova, and she's a very scary Sova player.
Yeah, she's one of the few players as well that sometimes goes for the Astra over the Omen in, well, some of these maps for Nigma Galaxy, which is a thing that is very niche these days. But when you make it work, especially with a composition that's got or that's geared more towards that utility, it's absolutely interesting to see these types of play styles, especially here in such a high level of competition. But speaking of momentum, I would argue that neither of our teams really have been gaining that traction that they needed to propel themselves into the upper stages of this bracket. Because if you take a look at at their recent games, all of them, or rather most of them, have gone into the whole 9 yards, the whole 3 games, overtimes, left and right. I mean, for instance, Nigma Galaxy fought real hard to not get bumped down in the lower bracket, but it was such a close game between such a close series between them and Zol Meraki that it went into what, triple overtime in two maps. And of course, Nigma Galaxy, being the aggressor that they are, they picked up a lot of their rounds on the attack, but unfortunately unable to close it out in these overtimes. And like I said, it really is just a testament to if they can get the ball rolling and then can they translate it into a win. But I gotta say, both teams here have been really having a rough time. So I'm expecting us to go the whole 9 yards again tonight here, Zach. Everything on the line here for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think that we'll most likely be seeing a map 3 as well,
Mm,
because the maps that we've chosen today, like there's some maps, like for example, they're just insta bans, like perma bans. Like for example, I don't think I've ever seen
Fracture.
Nigma Galaxy play Fracture.
Yeah.
They just instantly like, nope, we don't want anything to do with that map. Take it out of this pool. And of course, the same goes for the side of AG as well. They
Mm.
really don't like split there. So of course, after these usual bans come in, you are only left with a limited pool, and that's what we're probably seeing here. And the thing is, both of these teams are pretty good on this limited map pool that they're
Mhm.
allowed that they allow themselves to play around. I think that since you spoke about the previous matchups coming in, I think that Armory Aresta, they lost to L Streak, and this is a little bit of a punch in the eye because I don't know if you know, but L Streak, they picked up two of Aresta's old
Mm.
players, so
Yeah.
a bit awkward there. Noxy and Yuki having to go up against their old teammates, and then sort of crushing them is the word I would say,
Yeah.
especially on the second and third map. So, but of course, the first map is what I'm focused on because it was Haven, which is the first map today as well. And Aresta, they did a really good job there. I think they won
Mm.
13-5, and City popped off. City had so much going for her, so many first bloods. I think she had like a 334 ACS or something, so one of the scarier players there. And of course, Izanagi on Breach as well. So this is something that I'm really interested in because
Mm.
they do run, that Enigma Galaxy does run a Killjoy. So Izanagi, if she goes for the Breach again, it's
Yeah.
directly going to counter whatever utility that's on board. But I think that we are going to be heading into map number 1. So let's see what Asian picks these lovely ladies have for us today.
I mean, I feel like that loss against L Streak is, of course, it makes a lot of sense because those players, they got insider info on how AG Aresta works. So it's a tough loss for them. Yeah, it was a very tough series closer as well in Fracture, which is why it makes a lot of sense for them to actively avoid that map all throughout. And now we're seeing the agent select screen coming up in your screens, and surprise, surprise, a double duelist that NGX is showing up with.
Yeah, that's not a surprise at all. Aluka and I are gonna be going for their Jing and Forsaken cosplay. I would say that's what it seems like. Gwen going for her usual Sova, Hanu for the Omen as expected, and Trix of course for the Killjoy, which is what I was reading. On the opposite side, though, we are seeing some Fade play coming in, which I personally love because ever since she came out, she has been one of the strongest, most aggressive enabling initiators on the board. And the fact is, when you have an agent like Cine on board, you want somebody who she can play off of and get those initial picks. And Senderi's Fate is really going to help with that. And like I mentioned initially, since Isnagi is going for that breach, we might be seeing some direct counters coming in on this map of Haven for that Killjoy. There's nothing more depressing than popping your 8 orb lockdown and having it broken by like one aftershock, 150 credits. Yeah, that's really depressing.
Absolutely. And this is one of the maps where AG Aresta bring out these compositions that is very, very heavy on the utility side. This is a map where they go for the breach fade combo, and it's actually the only map where they play that fade in. Of course, makes a lot of sense because it is Haven. It goes hand in hand with breach, and of course this is one of the maps as well where the shortcomings of the haunt are sort of overcome by just how small the map is, because the biggest criticism that I have for the haunt is that the range is just so small. But when you have something like a map, or when you have small maps like a Haven, or perhaps even a Fracture, or even, I don't know, Splits, for example, Fade can tend to shine, especially coupled with the utility that a breach offers. I mean, for example, imagine getting concussed by a breach and then getting pulled in by a Fade, and then I don't know, an aftershock just goes out into your face. You can't really do anything about it. On top of not being able to see anything because of the prowlers, it's such an annoying feat to play against, especially when you've got that Killjoy, which, as you mentioned, can be easily countered with that breach.
Yeah, and also, like I mentioned, really, really lending itself to aggressive play here. And when you have areas like, A short, and also like the garage area, there's always potentials for somebody camping out with the judge there. So those prowlers, they're gonna be really really important to clear those
Mm,
nasty corners because you don't want to go in blind. And I think that is another reason why Fade is so good. And of course, let's talk about our ultimate, right? Nightfall covers all three sides completely. So
yeah.
if you're gonna get the site for free if you have that ultimate on board, more or less, because all you have to do is concuss towards the edge of the site
Mm,
with the breach fault line, and then make your way in with the ultimate. Well, they can't hold it really because they're gonna be deafened. They're gonna like have like Fade doing some ASMR stuff in their ears while they wait on site and try to stay alive desperately. So yeah, I think it's gonna make
eh,
aggression really easy here. The thing is though that it's going to be Aresta starting off on defense here, which is really interesting because a lot of these agents that they've picked, they lend themselves to aggressive play much more than defensive play.
absolutely. Um, You know what? I love that you pointed out the fade ASMR in your ears because I absolutely hate that. I mean, getting deafened is one thing. Okay, sure, that's your utility. You can't hear anything. But why do you have to whisper in my ear, Fade? I'm like, get out of my head, you crazy lady. But yeah, speaking of Fade, I actually am a little bit surprised that we're not seeing as much Fade as I thought we would in professional play. I mean, at least in APAC in general. I mean, you got teams like, for example, Team Secret, who does bring it out for every now and then in bigger maps like Icebox. And that's the thing, right? It's just a testament to just how versatile a Fade could be, especially when you've got a lot of lineups prepared and a lot of time poured into her kit. And I'm loving it that AG Aresta is bringing it out. I mean, they're one of the few teams as well here in Game Changers who does opt for that, or rather, who has it in their main composition, be it that it's only in Haven. But I'm loving that we're seeing more and more of the Fade. And what do you think, Zach? Do you think Fade is going to be an eventual game changer? Is she going to get more priority over the Sova in the coming, I don't know, year or so?
I think that you're already seeing quite a bit of that,
Yeah.
especially on maps like Ascent. A lot of the VCT teams are, in fact, they don't give a crap. They're just running triple initiators. They're like, we don't need a duelist. We have a chamber.
Duelist.
That's
Yeah,
our duelist. We
exactly.
have three initiators, and then we have a controller. Life's good. I
Yeah.
mean, let's face it, chamber is a duelist, and the way some of these players play them definitely does not look like a sentinel to me. So I think that she's already finding a lot of value, especially on maps where you have a Viper that's often run. So she directly counters Viper. You imagine you're a Viper, you're sitting in your pit, the Solar Dart doesn't detect you, the Sky Trailblazer doesn't detect you, but man, you throw a Haunt in there, you're going to be revealed
Yeah.
unless you're crouched behind a box or something. So that's another reason why Fade is majorly run, because you can get all those nasty shots through smokes or Viper ults or whatever might be the case here. So I think that she is already finding a lot of value. And like you mentioned, she excels on maps where A, there's a Viper, and B, the site isn't too big. And
Mhm.
there isn't, you'd be surprised that there's quite a lot of overlap when it comes to this. Like Icebox, for example, you'd think that the sites are big, but the lineups there, they reveal all the crucial angles for the Haunt, and definitely really, really valuable agent, which I think. So I don't know if she'll ever replace Sova, but you're already seeing her run right beside Sova on a lot of maps. And of course, Haven, she is replacing Sova. I'm sorry, but that Russian man is having his agent pick rate drastically go down ever since Fate came into the meta. I think it was like about 20% or something, and it's only getting lower and lower.
I mean, that is kind of the point, right? I mean, Sova's been the go-to, the staple for initiators in basically every map, apart from Split, ever since the game it came out. I mean, yeah, Sova got nerfed a little bit, but at its core, Sova is still absolutely the best in what do you call this? Collection or data collection, I would say, information collection before Fade came out, right? And I feel like that's the point with Fade anyway. You need something to replace the Sova, but that's the thing, right? More and more we're seeing more of the utility priority in a lot of these compositions, that we're seeing a triple comp, triple initiator comps, no duelist comps. Will we be seeing I'm excited to see if we're going to get to a point where the initiators are going to get so much priority that we get, I don't know, like a 4 initiator comp with that Viper or just a single controller. But again, it's just I feel like we're at a pretty weird but pretty good spot in the meta where initiators take the stage, but there are a lot of things that need a little bit more attention, like Phoenix and Cypher, I think, and needs a little bit more attention too. And of course, Yoru has been seeing a lot more play, but I don't think he is at that level yet where I feel like he makes as much impact as the other duelists.
I mean, if you've seen Forsaken play Yoru Unbind, you might.
Oh,
I'm pretty
oh,
sure you have. So
oh.
that's the exception. That's just a
That's
Forsaken
yeah.
thing. I don't think it's a Yoru thing. But man, he's really, really scary on Bind
Mm,
there. But you're right. Especially Phoenix, I did see some rumors that he's gonna be getting a bit of a
yeah.
buff, and it's kind of funny. You know, the Phoenix and Jet were like the faces of Valorant when they came out, and
Mm.
now both of them barely summoning kind of pick rate coming in. A bit sad there. At least Jet still gets some love,
Yeah.
but after Chamber came out, nope. Everybody I know, like who used to play Jet, they're like, yeah, you know, I can op with the Chamber. In fact, I get a free op
Yeah.
every few rounds. All life's so much better now. So yeah, I think we've now seen a lot of switch. In fact, even the team that won Masters, right? You saw EA play Jet all the time. Since
Mm,
Chamber came out, nope, he's just been playing Chamber.
yeah.
In fact, if you look at like the VCT rankings for most regions, but especially in AU and even APAC, I think of the top 10
Everywhere.
players, top 10 ACS, at least 5 of them are Chamber players, hands down.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just testament to just how powerful Chamber is right now. I mean, despite the changes in the trademark, I mean, even CNED from Ascend has been playing a lot more Chamber. And it's because of the operator, right? I mean, it's not just that Chamber is the best operator player in all of the agents in Valorant right now. He's got a free op. That's even better than the op. And yeah, that's I feel like that's the thing that is the route that Riot should take when it comes to changing a chamber, not the trademark route, but more of the fragging potential and the safety route. But that's a whole kind of worms open argument side. There's a lot of things they could do, not just in the chamber front of things, but also in the Phoenix front of things. But about the game, folks, sorry we're delaying here a little bit. We are experiencing some technical difficulties, so we have to apologize. But for now, you're in the pregame podcast with Zach and Tatum. Will be starting the game in just a few seconds, but for now, how are you feeling, Zach?
I'm excited that we're getting into the game and we
Mm.
no longer have to buy time, though this
Oh,
discussion was a lot of fun. But of course, yes, I think we should talk more about Chamber. I think we might have to, in fact, if we do see some Chamber play coming in on this map. I think
mm,
that one of the Aresta players did go for it. Angela, I believe, does like to play Chamber here, and definitely for somebody who has only been on this roster for what, like a few weeks now, she is doing a really good job there because by holding down, like, let's say C long or A long aggressively, she just lets City Senderi get so much space off the back of
mm.
that. So I think we might be seeing a repeat of that today, which is my hope as well. So of course we shall see which is the superior sentinel for Haven, Chamber, or KJ, and we'll take a call on that after that. I'm excited to see that, you know, Trix versus
Oh yeah.
Angela. That should be a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, but that's the thing though with Aresta, right? I mean, you never really know what you're going to get composition wise. I mean, the Fade lineup is something that they opted for, I believe, once so far, and it seems like it's working out so well for them. But I'm not sure if that is their solid composition already. But I'm getting word here, Zach, that the agent select screen, I believe, is ready and the game is ready. So let's
Sheesh.
get right into it. Best of three elimination match between Nigma Galaxy and AG Aresta. And here we go.
Already, it's going to be the super aggressive push coming in here from the side of the Aresta players towards A main. In fact, I think 4 players are going to be here, and they're trying to do some damage to the smoke. It's going to be the detection of one player by that. Rudy's, in fact, is popping off already with 3 to her name off the back of that Fade util, just down to Trix here. And she's not going to find anything. A flawless round for Aresta, and I think that was one of the quickest pistols I've seen.
Oh yeah.
It was just a 4v5 right off the bat towards A lobby.
Cleanest too. Off the back of the dark cover play, they pushed it up, and it seems like Aresta really done their homework here. We talked a lot about how Haven is one of the comforts, or rather the comfort map. This is the home of Nigma Galaxy, so Aresta, they obviously did their research. They know exactly what to do, and in that pistol, Rudy's just shines, spamming through the dark cover, and oh, what can I say? As clean as it could get as for starters. Now, oh, Luca shuts down that Marshall. And that's first frag for NGX as they take things down a notch.
That will slow down their trademark aggression here off the back of that. You see a little bit of spray coming through as they try to possibly go for that weapon. I think it has been picked up as well. So it seems like it's going to be, them going for a little bit of mid control here. They are going to be waiting outside the garage as well as trying to go towards the B side possibly. Hanu does have that Marshall that she managed to pick up, and they do have those sheriffs as well on Aya and Aluka. So if they can find a couple of headshots, it might be what they need. Look at Aluka's position though. She's managed to push her way all the way way through A long, already pushing towards the spawn here. The question is, will she check Isnegi? Will she clear it out? And no, she doesn't manage to do that. Isnegi takes her down. The trade tries to come through from Aya, but she's not going to really find anything. Never mind, she takes down Senderi with a beautiful headshot there. And with that, the A side has been taken. And they had to take care of Aya first before they can even try to make that retake happen. But Angela, she's there for that.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. 3 versus 3 still, but Hanu's picked up that Marshall. Retaking prowess here is a little bit on the iffy side, but 3 versus 3 with the Spectres in hand should be doable for them. A lot of utility available too, which is Izengi still up with Rudy's right there. Dark covers are now laid out, and Angela pressing on. And this is the duelist chamber that we've been talking about. The Fuse coming in. Everyone pushing up so far as Rudy's picks up Hanu. They have to push these dark covers, otherwise the Fuse is going to commit. And there it is, but there's so much damage done. Everyone falling, and Tricks picking up Rudy's as well. And 2-0, but man, they really made their mark there, NGX.
Yeah, because when this is gonna be, they'll probably have to full buy into this or play like a very, very extreme bonus round, I would say. Aresta not looking really healthy here economy wise, because you know when you are playing that second round you want to hold down to every single one of those rifles possible, but or at least Spectres, SMGs possible, but they're gonna have they've lost all of their weapons here, so things are gonna be really rough right now. Rudy's just one away from that ultimate from the shadows, and on the opposite side it's going to be nobody really close to it. Again, the aggression trying to come through from Cine, and again she's gonna be caught off this time by Aya, though the rest of the players, they are gonna be waiting towards this window here. Rudy's, though, look at her position. She's already made her way up towards mid, and they might not expect her in this corner.
Absolutely not. Of course, it's just a Sheriffs this time for AG because of the damage that NGX done. Don't really want to risk investing into round number 3. And Aya's just popping off. Picked up 2 already. Rudy's falls. And here comes Angela coming in from the window. She hears a lot of these footsteps coming through, but she really doesn't have any idea where everyone's gonna come from. But she seems like she knows! But doesn't matter anyway. Gwen picks up Angela. Here comes the backup Senderi. Picks up that Stinger to try and contest the short angle. Haunt comes out. There's a lot of members playing against her, but she still picks up one, looking for the next one, but she finally goes down. 1 versus 4 now. And Zengi really has a lot on her plate. Picks up the Stinger for the 3rd time on the swap, but there you go. Gwen securing the round 2-1, and NGX poised to bounce back.
Oh, that Stinger is cursed, because I think every single person, like within the 10 seconds of picking it up, they went down. But nevertheless, it's going to be Nigma Galaxy who do make the full buy work out in their favor. Almost flawlessly, they only lost 1 player. And the thing is that the player that they lost was Aya, so she's good, because she can buy in a gun, but even if she can't, she'd be able to get the Blade Storm with just 1 ultimate orb. Looks like she is going to be able to get a gun, and this is the round which Aresta is counting on, because it is their full buy. And the economy already looking like it's starting to build up for Nigma Galaxy, so they will try and want to get as much possible out of this round here. The aggression again trying to come through, but this time though it's going to be up the A side where Cine is going to be peeking and possibly pushing up here. Aya though, she's going to be lying in wait for her, so it's going to be a Jet versus Jet duel if Cine decides to peek out here. She's opting for a little bit more prudence though, because I think she remembers the last 2 times where she just decided to go out of garage. In the meantime, that's going to be Aluka finding the headshot onto Angela, opening up the C side there off the back of that with those Lumiers. It's going to be just the Omen left. Rudy's will take her down a notch, and that's going to be a 4v4. Things equalize. The push coming through right now, and Rudy's is the only person on site here. Has to try and hold on, but Hanu is going to shut that down real quick.
Pretty good paranoia to cap things off there, but NGX, they still push through. They pick up Rudy's as well. Naya's been so good at capitalizing off of this aggression, and this time, Gwen picks up Senderi, traded instantly by Cine H. So 2 versus 3, and remember, AG, everything invested into this round. They have to make this work, otherwise they should just save here. But Cine H picking up Hanu there means it's all the more doable, but NGX still answering back. Zengi down to 1 HP, and there you go, Aya to close it out. 2-2, NGX equalized, but I doubt AG has the money to reinvest into this round.
No, they don't, and they don't really have any ultimates either. They might try to possibly go for that A-long orb so Cine can get her hands on that Blade Storm, but apart from that, there's not going to be much left. They don't have the Tour de Force either. Angela's still 2 away, though I suppose if she hits some nutty Sheriff shots, she will be able to get that online. Nevertheless, though, things are looking really rough. Cine is the only hope of AG this round as they try and save to bring the economy back. On the opposite side, it's going to be the economy and the ultimates looking really healthy for these Nigma Galaxy players. Aya has her ult, Gwen as well. one away, and Aluka is just one away as well. So it seems like it's going to be a bit of a default coming in from them as they wait for excessive aggression. It seems off the back of that pistol, they just want to
Yeah.
wait around and see if they can find anything before they really make some headway into sight. Look at Aluka though. She's just lying in wait in this dark cover, waiting for one of these players to possibly peek their heads out.
Yeah. AG finally paying respect to Aya, who this time takes control of A site without anyone really seeing her there. She's gonna call upon the spike to be laid down here, but it's just gonna have to be the retake for AG. Everyone stacking down in B and down in the defender side. Spawn is Zengi though. Might just get Aya off guard, and she does. And that's finally the space creator gone, but still, they get the plant down. One upgrade going their way, so this might potentially be doable with the utility that they have. Zengi invested so much into that breach that they might just have enough to go for this retake.
They do have that rifle as well as the Blade Storm, so of course it's definitely doable here. It depends on Cine and the rest of her team finding these picks, but look at Aluka on the lurk. She already finds one, tries to get the second, but Rudy's will take her down. That's going to be the second rifle which has been found by the side of these players. Gwen though, she's going to take down Cine, and that's going to be the Blade Storm offline here. Spike is still planted for them as they try to get some spam in, and Hunter's Fury is online as well, and definitely Gwen is going to be using that to try and stall any kind of push here. It's just Isnegi left right now trying to do economic damage, if nothing else. Will find one player, but I don't know if she'll be able to find anything else. Runs out of bullets before she can take down Tricks, and that's gonna be round number 3 for Nigma Galaxy. A little bit expensive. They did lose 3 players, but I don't think it's gonna matter for much because look at their economy. I think some of them are actually capping here. Wow.
Yeah. Gotta commend Aya and Alka, man. They're always creating so much space for their team. Always without really losing a lot, honestly. Because Aya got control of A site, made sure nobody was there. So when she fell down, it was Alaka's turn to take the spotlight, and she's already creeped up all the way down into B main and into site that Aresta just wasn't expecting it, and they're loving this. A calculated aggression from NGX this time. After the first 2 rounds, where AG was just running it down and was mowing NGX down, it seems like things have taken a turn for the slower. But Aluka going down here means it's going to be a heavier job for Aya to create that space, who this time is sticking with her team.
Yeah, it's going to be already the first pick coming through for both these players. And with that, the C side, it seems like it's where they want to go. They will spot out Angela towards the CT here, but I think Rudy's nevertheless has not been spotted yet, and she might be able to do a lot of damage. Finds one for trouble, but Trix is going to trade that out, and with that, it's going to be even Stevens. Never mind, Aya is going to get the advantage here for the side of Nigma Galaxy, finding that headshot onto Angela. And with that, the spike is gone down, and really, Trix staying alive in all of these rounds is so crucial because she has so much utility to work with here. It's going to be Aya who gets caught by that haunt off guard, will be taken down by Sendry. That's going to make it a 2v2. The thing is, the KJ is still alive here. They do have that ultimate available from the breach, but both these players are playing too far away for it to really matter here towards the long side here. And they don't have any smoke either to try and smoke the spike off. Tries to get the shot, hits one, and it's going to be the dynamic duo of Hanu and Trix taking both these players down. Unable to find the defuse.
Yeah. So much faith there on Trix. Because Cuz coming in for their Omen means that Trix had to take things, or rather had to take that, or to shut down that defuse all on her own, and she did. The aim is just so good on these players. Let's take a look at that one more time. Sendry falls, and Hanu to back up her teammate. Zengi falling down as well. And NGX on a roll now. It's 4 rounds in a row. And they don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Like you said, Zach, their bank is looking like a gold pile right now. But Aresta back on the eco.
I mean, they do have that Bucky, and I swear, one of the most scary guns to play against on these eco rounds is definitely going to be that Bucky. So my eyes are going to be on Sender to see how much damage she can do. They also do have that Tour de Force from Angela, and again, one of those devastating weapons that we're used to seeing. But this is what I mean about Nigma Galaxy, right? You pointed out how they had 4 rounds in a row, and that's what happens when you let Aluka and Aya really do some damage here, which they've been consistently doing so far. Rudy's is going to be forced to TP away, and with that, the B side is looking much more accessible here off the back of that Lear. Rudy's, though, she's not going to be really falling off the side. She's still holding on, and off the back of that paranoia, they are heading into the garage, and Descendary is waiting embrace, but it's not going to matter because Aluka takes her down with a headshot. Aluka is hitting some nutty shots here, and with that, it's going to be the C side open for business right now.
Oh, the spam almost takes care of Rudy's as well. I mean, that's the only thing I wanted to do in B side. Bait out some utility, and when the paranoia came out, they went for the instant rotate down and C Took down one member as well. Rudy's almost falling down too. So that's gonna make it so much harder for them to get back into sight now without any information at all. And Aluka coming in from behind. Uh-oh, AG doesn't know this at all, and she's gonna get spotted out, so she won't be able to find anything in time soon. It's Anu who shuts down Angela through the smoke, and I had to find Rudy's as well, and now it's all falling apart for the eco here. Izengi retrieves that Vandal. Perhaps going to try and find that damage in as well, but so much facility going on against her, and Aya to close it down. 5 rounds in a row, NGX. So stellar on this attack.
They are doing a fantastic job with these defaults here, and of course, I love Aluka here because she is just so unfearing. She just walks up to a site, knocks on the door, and she's like, "Hello there, how are you doing today?" And then she headshots them. So really something that's terrifying for the side of AG here. They're not able to do anything against Aluka because once she finds that initial pick, it just falls open, and yep, that's gonna be the timeout coming in for them. They really have to figure out how they can do better, especially this timeout is a really good one for 2 reasons. Because number one, after 5 rounds in a row, they need something to kind of possibly break the momentum coming in from Nigma Galaxy. But more than that, they should consider what they can do to hold on to these sites and possibly succeed in retakes better. So far, they're letting the site go and trying to retake, but they're not having much success there. So perhaps what we saw in the initial round, right? So some kind of coordinated aggression to put Nigma Galaxy on the back foot. That is the kind of play they need here.
Yeah, perhaps. Or perhaps they could do something like they did on the pistol round. Like completely caught NGX off guard, but the thing is, they got Aya to watch out for. They got Aluka to watch out for. Both of them gotten so many frags already that they've got their ults up and ready now. But Aresta really got to dig deep here. Timing on the timeout really couldn't have been any better because this is a round where they get to reinvest into their full util, into their full arsenal. So it makes you wonder what they're planning here. Rudy's got the ult up, so does Senderi on that fade. Perhaps they can get creative with these ultis. Instead, they contest a short where Aya's been creating so much space. This time, Jets to find each other. Aya gets dinked, but... Oh, rather... Did anyone get dinked down there? I'm not sure if I saw that right, but Cine H walking off with her life still in her hands. She picks up 2 now this time, and Hannah falling down means that's a spike down in A. Trick's gonna go for the response, but this is a real challenge for NGX. 2 versus 4. Really pushed up anywhere with Aluka falling down. Trick's gonna look for the exits now.
1v5, she does. I'm sorry, 1v4, she does have that first kill to her name. She's gonna have to ace this out in order to clutch this round and keep Nigma Galaxy's win streak going here. Does have that lockdown to work with, but I don't know if that's gonna be really enough here. The timer still looking fairly healthy. 50 seconds left for her to try and find these picks. But the question is, where is she going to try and go here? Because A side, 2 players towards CT already. The B side is locked down as well. Rudy's is gonna be the first point of contact that she's gonna walk into. If that's the case here, Senderi there to back her up as well. So she has to start with finding this pick onto Rudy's here, but she's not even going to be looking in the right direction as Rudy's is just going to take her down. And off the back of that timeout, it's going to be AG who are finally finding their footing in this matchup here. And all the credit for that just goes down to Cine there as she finds 3 kills towards this ace side here. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah. You know what, Zach? I have a theory here. I have a theory on how that timeout went for AG's side. They were like, you know what? Cine, go kill. and she did, and she delivered. Absolutely beautiful stuff there for Cine, single-handedly pinning down the attack down in A. I mean, she's all alone in A side too, and again, they're putting her in the same spot. NGX, can they find better success now? They use the Cloud Burst for a little bit more safety, for a little bit of a bait there, but they're steering clear of Cine. Man, they learned their lesson immediately.
Once burned, twice shy, and that proverb is gonna hold true here. Again, they're trying to work their way up towards mid. We've seen them finding success towards that first pick multiple times before. This time, it's gonna be Aya who makes her way in. And in fact, they're gonna be going in for the proper B hit this time. Usually, they just go in for some aggression, initial aggression here, and Aya's gonna take down Senderi off the back of that. The lockdown has been invested as well, and it's not really in a position where the breach can break it. In fact, Hano is gonna be expecting the breach to try and break it. So off the back of that, she is going to be fighting 2 picks there. That's gonna make it a 3v3, and Cine, she's just gonna be trying to stick the defuse here. Haruda will take her down. I think the half defuse has been done though, so all they have to do is somehow try to stick it and stay alive. Angela desperately trying to hold on here. One bullet away from her demise. Tries to stick it, won't get it because Richard's just gonna run it, and it's all down to just one player. Rudy's in this 1v2, walking out, but Hanu, she's gonna be ready for her and will take her down. That was so close. They almost got to stick there, Matt.
Yeah, Trix just walked up. she just walked into the dark cover. And hello there. Hello to Angela. And just so much utility too. I mean, the setup was beautiful there for NGX. They used a lockdown early, and then they invested all of the or everything. They threw everything in the kitchen sink to whoever was defusing that spike, and it worked so well. And when they ran out of stuff to throw, they threw tricks in, and it worked still into the face of Angela. So 6-3, NGX, they bounce right back. And this time it's the aggression from Cine. And can NGX actually shut her down? This time, Aya. Oh, it's in Cine to win that 1-versus-1. But with 30 health, she's going to back on out. But great start already for AG there.
Yeah, I think that every round so far where they have gotten the first pick, they've been the winners of the round. It hasn't happened so much because Aluka and Aya, well, they're hungry for that first kill. But nevertheless, it's Cine this time who starts off the action here. It seems like they do want to go in for a mid-garage split, possibly, though the spike is just waiting on A here. I think they're just going to try and bait it out here, make a lot of noise, possibly invest a couple of smokes, and that might trigger the rotation coming through. In fact, I love this from AG. They're always playing this A-side on retake here. They know that they have the utility that, you know, they can use to possibly make their way into site and retake it from the hands of NGX. And I think that's a good play from them because it seems to be working out for them so far. However, this time they have made their way onto site for free, more or less, and they are trying to get the plant down. There is the Nightfall available as well from AGS, and that's going to give away a lot of information here. Multiple players tagged and flashed. Oh my god. Everybody just looking absolutely blind here. It will be the Omen able to out, but come back. In fact, what a play coming in from Hanu, already finding 2 on the round. Sentry will take her out, but it's going to be a 1v3 right now as Trix on the lurk won't be able to find anything as her position is just read perfectly. And wow, I really feel bad for Aluka there. She's been what bitten by the Prowler, ulted by the Fade, flashed by the Breach.
I think she got flashed twice too. I mean, everyone down in hell were Rudy's and not Rudy's, Hanu, and Aluka as well. After activating the Empress, she just couldn't hear, couldn't see anything. And well, that's just Fades and Breach things. Really goes to show you how much of this utility can be powerful in situations like that, in the retake in particular. But I gotta tell you, Zach, that was such an expensive round for Aresta. Invested so much into that round. Cine used the Blade Storm as well, as far as I remember, but now she's looking to find again the early aggression to pay off. But a lot of footsteps hearing here from Long. She finds 2 members, but she doesn't really take care of anyone. So that's Aluka again opening up a site, but are they actually going to commit to it?
I don't think they are. They're gonna be falling back here. The thing is, though, that Angela hasn't rotated at all, so she is gonna be watching C-Long. If they decide to go C-Long, they're gonna have to deal with that operator. Gwen, though, she's gonna be waiting to head into garage, and she doesn't have that drone either. So if she decides to just walk in, Rudy's might be able to take her down, and that's gonna put a stall to any kind of momentum these players have. Rudy's playing a dangerous game here and not really finding anything either. Aya's gonna take her down. And it's going to be the Chamber who finds a pick, but will be forced to rendezvous out there. That's going to make it, finds a second as well, though, she takes down Gwen. So that's going to make it a 3v3. And with that, the retake is going to be on for the side of AG here.
Yeah, Angela buying so much time. They're actually going to deter the plant from happening at all. Spike being paraded down into C-Long, perhaps going for the rotate now. With Aluka holding the line in garage. Oh, she gets a spam against Angela. Almost getting a 3rd pick out of that operator. And here we go, the rotate coming through. 2 versus 3 now as NGX actually thin out the numbers of AG despite the beautiful start there from Angela's op. Make their way down into A site with relative ease now. And they have, I believe they have a dark cover spawning up in just a second. But AGL, it's their last 2 initiators that are alive. A little bit of utility on the beach. 1 flash, 1 aftershock, and a haunt. Perhaps they can make this happen, but it's so hard to imagine how.
And the thing is that all these three players are playing post-ban really, really perfectly. Look at that one way from Honda. They're not going to be able to even touch the spike without dealing with these players. Aluka fighting the third honor around. Senderi goes for the hunt here. Finds two, in fact. It's
Okay.
going to be a 1v1 right now. Senderi versus Trix. Still has to deal with that one way. Tries to stick the spike here, but the clock is ticking out, and Trix is going to... Trix knows her timing. She's going to peek out perfectly and take her down with a headshot. But Senderi made that round so incredibly close there. And the thing is that this was about like a fight too or something. So they've really done a phenomenal job at bringing it back. If they can somehow take this last round as well in their pocket, well, their life is going to be so much easier when they start attacking.
Absolutely. Great stuff here from Trix to close out the round. Didn't have to see her opponent to get the headshot off. 7-4 here, and a 3-round lead. It seems like what Nigma Galaxy is holding the line on. So last round of the half, of course, which is means that AGL really going to invest everything into this round. And it's Angela's task now to take control of that A-long area. Rendezvous is still ready. Oh, chamber shot goes wide. And Aya going in now. Cloudburst going in. And there she spots out Angela from up above. She gets another 2 City Falls. Why not? Kenry making his way here then. And Gwen to shut 2 of those members. Leaving Izengi all alone. Just a Spectre to work with too. This is gonna be so hard, almost impossible. But perhaps she gets one kill. She's going to get the Rolling Thunder up and running. But nope, not now, not anymore. With Hunter's Fury spotting her out, and T-Rex to close out the half. 8-4 for NGX.
Aya there looked unstoppable. Like, you know, you see her, you see all this Fade utility tossed at her, but she doesn't care. She's just gonna get 2 headshots in a row and completely like leave open the side there. And I like that read from the side of you know, Nigma Galaxy to go for that A side, because they knew that Angela was just 1 away from having that tour de force available. So they decided that, you know, of course, of the 2 orbs on Haven, the A side orb is much more accessible for the defender. So they were like, yeah, we're not letting you get that weapon in your hand. We're just gonna take the A side, and they do it in style off the back of Aya. But so far, looking at this matchup, it seems like if you let Aya as well as Nigma Galaxy get 1 square inch, they're gonna take an entire mile, and that's what they've been doing this entire attacking half so far.
I mean, and we've been paying a lot of, we've been giving a lot of credit for Aya and Aluka for creating that space for their team, but the entire roster of NGX is just on fire right now. You can see it in their movement, in their fights, that more often than not, it's them when it comes to these dry peaks, these duels, it's them coming out on top. Really is a testament to just how comfortable they are in this matchup, particularly in this map. Especially on the attack as well. I mean, you typically wouldn't expect a Killjoy to create that much space on attacking in Haven, but Trix just absolutely turns up, whether be it pre-plant, post-plant, or just a default. It's just a beautiful look here for Nigma Galaxy. Makes me wonder what AG is planning on the attacking side, where more often than not is the side where they find a little bit more success in Haven. But they do have a lot of utility to their side to work with, so that's the key here for them. Perhaps maybe use the Breach and the Fade combo to create that avenues for them, and maybe take less of these dry fights, because honestly NGX is just on fire tonight with the aim.
Yeah, but the thing is that though, on Haven, like you mentioned, their attacking percentage is way higher. It goes to about 70%, while on defense is just about 40%. So we might be able to see a very possible comeback coming in from them, especially considering that Nigma Galaxy is running the Killjoy here. While the Killjoy is really, really good to hold down a site, that's it. She can't rotate very easily. She's going to have to lock down a site here to make sure that nobody really lurks in. So it's going to fall down to the rest of the team members to get that initial first pick or hold on to the rest of the sites here. So Aresta's job is comparatively a bit easier. All they have to do is find a player, get that pick, and wreak havoc in the ranks here. Because on a map like Haven, especially on defense, you know, if you're left with like 4 players, it's going to make defending sites so much harder. But we're going to be heading back into the game here with a scoreline of 4-8. So it's important for Aresta to pick up this pistol, because with that, they're going to be on track to get equalizers. Because 4-8, it looks kind of bad, but 6-8, that's really close. And that should be what they're aiming for.
Yeah, absolutely. Key factor here as well is that Angela really hasn't been hitting her mark as the dedicated fragger on the chamber defense. I mean, yeah, the one time she got her hands on the op, she got 3 kills, I believe, but other than that, she really has been struggling because she's always been shut down by Aluka and Aya and, well, the rest of the NGX gang. This time, though, it's the aggression down in C. Both Aluka and Aya huddling together, taking the long way around. Meanwhile, the noise is being made down in A site. It seems like AG really want to split up this site now. Cindy leading the charge here. 60 health because of the shock dart, but she looks undeterred. She gets spammed out as well, down to 28. But no matter, she makes her way down into hell. And look at this, Aya and Alaka still unaccounted for. They finally get spotted out by Senderi, who still hasn't been able to find these frags. It's Aya who does. Angela goes down. Senderi about to push up down from short, but Alaka picks them both up. Izengi goes down as well. It's all down to Rudy's now, and Alaka and Aya. They completely close the doors on AG, and they take us into 9-4.
Yeah, and that's one more thing. Like, if you looked at the positioning of Trix's setup on that A site, they got the plan, but it was a really expensive plan because those nanoswarms did a lot of damage there before they could even get the spike down. So I like this, that they're letting the Killjoy's utility make a statement for them, soften them up a little bit so that, you know, Aya and Alika can just chew through them, which is exactly what that round was. That flank was beautiful, and I think that Aya even managed to smoke off the trademark there, so that's going to make things even more rough for the side of Aresta here. 4-9, staring down the barrel of a potential 4-10. They're not even going to force here. You just see one frenzy on Senderi. So very potential 4-10 coming in, and with that, they're just 3 rounds away from losing Haven. To be fair, this is Nigma Galaxy's pick, so they're probably going to be feeling much more confident on Breeze. Again, you're seeing the same kind of aggression coming in on the C long here.
Exactly.
This time from 3 players, in fact. Hanu is joining in on it as well. Angela waiting for this push, but Alcate finds the better of her anyway with that Bulldog.
Yeah, that's rough there for Angela, just holding the angle. She gets slow peeked and the headshot into the right click Bulldog. But now, Sydney opens up B site with that frenzy. So at least they get that release state for the spike to go down. The retake here is going to be so doable, especially with Aluka geared for that Bulldog. Trix get a double headshot onto Rudy, and she might be able to do this all alone, finally getting shut down. But at the cost of 4 of her teammates, Sendri now all alone. Frenzy comes out, and Aya just faster on this wing. 10-4 now, NGX on the double digits, and AG, well, they're banking on overtime now, Zach. Really, that is the only thing they can fight for now, unless they can get 6 consecutive perfect rounds, which, let's face it, is not really not really something that you can expect to happen. But perhaps they at least are going to get the full reinvest in round number 3 here.
Yeah, they did do a decent amount of economic damage. It took down 3 Spectres off the hands of the Nigma Galaxy players, so that is going to be working in their favor right now because these players are going to be confused as to what to buy here. Alika will have her Bulldog back as his Hanu managed to hold on to her Spectre, but apart from that, it's going to be just pistols coming in for the rest of these players. So this is a round which they not only have a really good chance of winning, they also have to win it because, like you mentioned, if they don't, it looks like it's going to be map over for the side of Aresta here. This time, though, it seems like the aggression isn't gonna really be coming in from the side of Nigma Galaxy towards the long C long here. They're just gonna be waiting on these sides to try and possibly play off utility. You can see Alika pushing her way up though towards this A site here, and while the side of Aresta is just content to default here and possibly find a pick or two.
Alika pushing up now from the other side of the map where she has been pushing up from. This time, no Cloudburst to help her clear the trademark, so she can't really inch forward anymore because she's got no info on where the trademark is rather. But it's Sydney to open up C site, so this time the read is pretty good from AG. But that just means that it's going to be the full-on retake. I think they heard the footsteps of Angela here, which is why Alika knows it's the second time around. They go for this duel, and Angela wins it this time, but Trix for the trade. She goes for the upgrade too. Zengi makes noise against Aya. So does Sendri's hold up. This is returning like a round to convert for AG, leaving Trix all alone now. She gets paranoia, but no matter. She's got a little bit of time to wreak havoc here from long. She knows exactly where a couple of these members are, but it seems like she's ready for Rudy's and Cindy as well. Ghost comes out. She knows that Zengi's down to 15 health. So all it takes is one bullet from either of her guns. Zengi's got the advantage, of course. He got the Rolling Thunder up as well, but she's still doable for Trix. One bullet, remember, is all it takes. But Izengi playing that beautifully. She's gonna go for one more peek to try and get that aftershock out. And there's the round for AG. 5-10, but every single one of their members went down there, Zach.
Isnagi does keep the only rifle as well for the side of AG here. But man, I genuinely thought Trix had that for a second. I swear, like especially looking at the HP for Isnagi, she played that really well by the way. But it also took not only 4 rifles, it's also the Breach ultimate, the Rolling Thunder that's offline right now for Aresta. So that's one less ultimate that they have in their pocket for these rounds going forward. And it's going to be Nigma Galaxy's full buy as well. And more than that, they have Tricks with that lockdown. So it's going to be an A push coming in right now. That lockdown is so incredibly strong on this A side here. If they manage to get short control, it's going to be the player who tries and stops this push coming in on A, but isn't really going to find anything for her trouble. Senderi makes her way up already. But look at Nigma Galaxy's rotation. There are going to be 4 players from them on the side already. They want to fight tooth and nail to hold on to it. They didn't even want to let the side of AG get the plant down this time.
Oh, here we go though. A lot of the utility being pumped already down into sewers. And really exhausting that utility part from the Haunt. She gets spotted up with the Alpha Drone too, so she might be in a tough spot here. Thankfully enough, Aluka doesn't really have the best of guns. It's just on the Guardian, but still 1 headshot is all it takes. And the performance of Aluka so far, I mean, she can really hit those headshots. Remember, 10-5 is the scoreline. Aluka pushing up. The confidence on her is just absolutely massive now as she finally shuts down Cine. So that's the duelist gone for AG, but the lockdown getting used down in Garage, just outside of Garage by Trix, as she catches a whiff of that aggression. Actually, non-existent down in C. Everyone down in A right now. Haunt reveals the positioning of the defenders now, but Zengi finally going to shut down Hanu there. The last line of defense here for NJX as everyone makes their way into sight still. Retake, they're just gonna deny the plant this time. 11-5, and despite the iffy buy, they still secure the round here, Zach.
Things are looking really, really bad for AG now because after that round, they're going to have nothing in their bank here. I don't think they even have any ultimates really to work with. City might be able to pick up that Blade Storm, but apart from that, I don't think there's anything that Aresta can do here. There's this map. This map is almost completely going in Nigma Galaxy's favor, and that's entirely off the back of Aya and Aluka's very, very measured and controlled aggression because they're always there to play off each other. They're always there to get that first pick and then trade out really quickly. And they're hitting some really nutty shots today. Also, Trix, I have to talk about that lockdown that she popped. It was around the 30-second mark, and if anybody had been lurking down towards the garage or mid area, possibly trying to get a rotation, it just shut things down immediately so that they were forced to try and go for this A push, which is just an impossibility because the other 4 players from Nigma Galaxy, guess where they are? On that A side. So definitely a really, really good read coming in from the players of Nigma Galaxy. A beautiful round from them. And with that, it's going to be 11 here. The question is, are Aresta trying to possibly get a force in here to try and keep it from going to match point, or are they going to try and play for this overtime? I think that's what they're trying to do. And this is the thing, this timeout is from Nigma Galaxy, it's not from Aresta here. So I think it's going to be, it's just a call from the IGL saying, look, we're 2 rounds away from winning this. Don't mess up. Let's take this map and then possibly make it a 2-0.
Yeah,
a good timeout, I would say.
Yeah, let's not get too overexcited. But the fact of the matter is, Nigma Galaxy, this is a pivotal round for them too, because if you take a look at the eco, they don't really have enough to fully reinvest into this round. Look at Gwen, only has a Spectre. But with the eco side of things, AG just has scrapes. With City again going down to first blood, it's again such a big task here for them to even find this damage, especially with Aluka and Aya now taking things down a notch. They're not really going for the aggressive play anymore because they don't have to. AGL's options are just thinned out here, especially with Angela going down now, 3v5. And Aluka and Aya, they want to push up. They're out for blood here, Zach.
Definitely, and that was such a good read again from Nigma Galaxy. They knew that Cine might try to go for the orb so she could get her ult online, but she isn't going to fight anything here. The spike has been spotted as well, so that's going to make things even more rough. Senderi finds 1 pick, but it's not going to be enough as both Aya and Gwen will clean things up, and with that, Nigma Galaxy is going to be on match point. Aresta did eco this round, so they are going to be able to buy in for this possible last round here, but so far, it looks like Nigma Galaxy are well on the way to take this map 13-5. It's going to be a hell of a run here for the side of Aresta to possibly take this to overtime. They need 7 rounds in a row here. 7 flawless rounds, too, because every single gun they use, they lose here, they're not going to be able to buy in. And I'd say things are looking really, really rough for them now, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. Silver lining, though, they've got Angela back on the tour de force, so perhaps time is not yet too late for Angela to pop off. Instantly activating that this time, but in C long. where Aya and Aluka have just relocated from. Oh no, Trix is the one that's receiving a lot of this information. Fade ult comes out, but nobody's really there for C site, so it's gonna be just nobody meeting them here in the site. Angela picks up Aya, so that's a pretty good start for AG as they get the spike down. Senderi picks up Aluka as well, so hold up. This round is looking like a round that they can actually translate. Only investing one ult into it. Hanu coming in from garage. Gets Cini still off the back of that awkward peek, and Gwen secures that kill for the team, and suddenly things have turned around. NGX, can they turn it around with a 1 versus 2 for Gwen? 70 health, shock dart at the ready, ult at the ready too, but Rudy's just denies it from Gwen, and AG, they hold on 6-12.
They do indeed, and sorry about that. They do manage to hold on here, and it looks like it's not over yet, because Cindy does have her blade storm. Even if she goes down, she will be able to use that instead of a gun here, and they still do have 2 rifles that they take into the next round. But Hanu was insane that round. She did manage to find 2 picks there, and Rudy's, well, it could have gone really badly, but Rudy's was there to hold on with that 3k, keep Aresta's hopes alive. Heading into this next round, though, it is going to be the last round, which, like you mentioned, that Nigma Galaxy can really buy in. The thing is that they do have that operator online for Trix. The aggression from Aluka, that's going to be instantly punished by Isnegi with that beautiful flash down mid. They know that Nigma Galaxy likes going in for this mid aggression here, and they're going to make them pay for that. Trix, though, she's going to find a headshot onto Senderi in the meantime, and that's going to bring it down to a 4v4 here. Rudy's is going to be using that from the shadows for some information. We'll find that the A site is extremely empty and possibly call for a rotate, and yep, that's going to be a spike on its way. Aya, though, she's ready for it. She heard the ultimate coming in, and she's going to be the last hope here for the side of Nigma Galaxy if they want to try and hold on to the site.
Oh, actually, I thought AG was going for the bait there. Because they went for the TP, and the spike was not in A side, I thought they were going for the rotate down and C, but no, they actually commit to it. So this might be the time for Aya to again take things into her own hands here, making her way through into the dark covers. The plant now finally coming in. 4 versus 4, as you mentioned. Both Omens still up, but Rudy's holding the line, gets shut down. Sini picks up Gwen with just a classic, but Izengi 1 versus 2 now. Can NGX close it out right now with Izengi so far away? Oh no. I think Izengi got disconnected here, Zach, and what a way to end the game here for NGX. 13-6, and they secure their map pick.
That is so unfortunate, because that 1v2 was possibly doable, especially off the back of the breach util here. But it's not going to matter, and Nigma Galaxy are going to take their map pick here. Haven is going to be in their back pocket, and with that, we're going to be heading on to Breeze. But let's talk about Haven, right? We saw aggression coming in from both these teams. It's just that Cini, well, she did manage to pop off once in a while, but on the whole, I think that the coordination from Nigma Galaxy's double duelists were just so much better, and they got so much value from it. Both Aluka and Aya playing off of each other, almost always finding that first pick. In fact, I want to see the first blood percentage for the side of Nigma Galaxy on this map. I think it's going to be like 80-20 easily in their favor.
Yeah, and I love just how they approach that aggressive style as well. They don't overdo it, Nigma Galaxy. Even though they have the double duelist, you'd expect their pace to be always explosive, right? Always going for the rush. But no, they always allocate their resources at the right place. Aluka and Aya, we rarely see them together when it comes to these defaults in the attacking side. And on the defense, they were always together. And that's the thing, right? The aggression from Nigma Galaxy, it's so consistently calculated that Aresta, even though they were covering their behind, it's really not enough because of just how well they approach those attacks, and even the aggressive defense that Aresta, even though they got the shutdowns every now and then on the defense, it just wasn't enough. And let's take a look at the stats for that last match, who the MVP was in that match. Let's take a look at that right in just a few seconds, and voila, it's Aluka. I mean, it was either Aluka or Aya, right? And look at their ACS, it's 6 points apart.
Yeah, it was really, really close. So of course, Aluka and Aya, one of them probably like you mentioned, and it's gonna be Aluka this time. And I think that it could also be that her first blood potential was so high during this map on attack or defense. She didn't care. She was just peeking and
Mm,
popping heads there. So of course, Aluka, Aya, and I really had to say that one of the Trix was one of the players for me that stood
oh
out
yeah.
as well because she's coming in after a while, and it doesn't seem like she took a break at all. She was just absolutely insane on this map here. For the side of Nigma Galaxy, it's gonna be Rudy's who does stand out there. I think that off the back of her plays, they did manage to get 1 or 2 rounds entirely with her getting 3K or something. Sydney as well, we didn't really see her up to her usual standards, I would say, as
Mm,
she's been playing so far in this tournament. Maybe she'll wake up, get some coffee, and pop off on Breeze because it's a map that's kind of made for Jet, and we possibly will be seeing an activated Sydney there. Angela as well, again, not really being able to do much
yeah.
there. A little bit unfortunate, but overall, I think Nigma Galaxy, they were just hitting their shots much, much better today, and that's ultimately what is going to be propelling them along with some really good trades into this map pick here. And if you look at the headshot percentage, of course, Aresta does actually have a higher headshot percentage, even though Nigma Galaxy is pretty close behind. But nevertheless, it's going to be Aresta who take that parameter home.
Yeah, 13-6, the final score here, and I think the biggest playing factor here for Nigma Galaxy is what we mentioned at the start of the series, right? Aloka and Aya, both of them, once they get that ball rolling, it's so hard, especially if you got Aloka on the Reina to shut them both down. And well, it was a rocky start. They lost the pistol, they lost a round after that, but they dealt so much damage, and then from then on, it was just the Nigma Galaxy show. Excited to see what's going to happen in Breeze, where, as we mentioned, Nigma Galaxy has been trying to avoid in these matchups, as well as AG Aresta, which is why it's quite curious why they picked this. But of course, it does make a lot of sense, knowing or seeing as that this isn't necessarily Nigma Galaxy's best map. But I gotta tell you, Zach, AG, they really have to dig deep to bounce back. 13-6 is it's rough. It's a rough game. But before we head off into that next match, folks, it is still a best of three. Both teams still can adjust to each other's flair. But before that, we'll just be having a short break. We're just tuning in. My name is Datum, casting with Zach. We'll see you guys in just a bit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Zach, and with me here is my amazing co-caster Datum, and we are here on on VCT Overtime here for Game Changers, and we're in a best of three between Nigma Galaxy and Aresta here. The loser will be heading out of overtime and lose your chance to possibly qualify for Elite here. We did see map number 1, Haven, which was Nigma Galaxy's pick, going firmly in their pocket, 13-6, and wow, what a game it was for them.
Absolutely. It's a 13-6 performance. Such a stellar run here. A beautiful look for Nigma Galaxy too. But I feel like AG Aresta picking Breeze in this matchup is ballsy to say the least. But speaking of AG, we're seeing a change of roster for them. Let's roll that change right now. I think it's Izengi being subbed out by KitKat. There you go, KitKat WC will be playing in this time, and Izengi is out for this next game. And it makes you wonder what changes that means for their composition here in Breeze, which for the most part has been very, very frag heavy. You mentioned this earlier. There's their go-to quite recently for Breeze games is their double duelist into a chamber, which is of course something that is very, very unconventional and very aggressive at that. But that's also the characteristic gameplay of Nigma Galaxy here. That double duelist, it's something that they're very comfortable with. So that's the question, I guess, Zach. Can AG beat Nigma Galaxy at their own game?
I don't know about that. That has to be seen here because I think the last time that Armory Aresta did play Breeze, they won it 13-6. The thing is, Cine was having a really, really good game that day. She had a 332 ACS, she went 25-9, and she did a lot of damage there. I think that with KitKat coming instead of Isnegi, that's gonna trigger a little bit of confusion as to who exactly is playing what, because KitKat, Isnegi usually goes in for that initiator, possibly plays Sova on the map of Breeze here. So the question is it going to be KitKat instead going in for that Sova, or KitKat taking the Viper and Senderi possibly going in for the initiator instead? It leaves a lot of questions as to what the Asian comp for the side of Aresta is going to look like. They do like their double duelist here, but Angela and Cine have both had a little bit of trouble on Haven
Yeah.
starting up. Perhaps that was their warm-up game, though. We've seen it happen before, and
Mm.
all of these reverse sweeps, they've become quite commonplace these days. So perhaps that is what Aresta is planning for, because if they do take Breeze, it's going to be Haven Ascent that's going to be the decider, and both of these teams are incredibly strong on Ascent here. If you look at the map pick here, the first map, which was, like I mentioned, picked by NGX, it's going to be their win, but Breeze is picked by Aresta, and
Mm.
even though Nigma Galaxy does have a pretty decent win rate on this map, Aresta, so far, the way they played Breeze,
Yeah.
they look really convincing.
Yeah, absolutely. But you said it yourself. This is a map where statistically both teams are a little bit on the okay side of things, less of the spazzled sort of sparkling 70% win rate that they have in perhaps Ascent or something like Bind. Even Breeze is a map where it's sort of the middle ground, statistically at least, for both of these teams. But if taking a look at the bigger picture, Nigma Galaxy has just a little bit more experience in Breeze overall compared to AG Aresta. So again, I'm super excited to see what Aresta is going to bring out in this map, especially with the change in their roster. Last round or last game, they were sort of expecting the pushes or rather the aggression from NGX, and we saw signs of life for them on the defensive side. They were able to shut it down every now and then, but Enigma Galaxy's adaptation is just so good on the fly. They were able to immediately answer back, and now the agent select screen is, I believe, ready for our next match. So let's get right into it.
Looking at the agent select here, it's going to be Trix who goes in for the Sage instead, which is really interesting because when Ivory was playing for them, she went in for a KO. And that was really instrumental. Like, sure, they lost to Zol Meraki on Breeze, but it was a really, really close match. I think
Yeah.
it was 17-15 by the end of it. So I don't know how much value the Sage is going to be bringing in instead of the KO here for the side of Nima Galaxy. And of course, though, for the side of Aresta, they need their duelists to pop off here. That is what makes them successful on Breeze so far. The question is, will they be able to do it against the experienced players of
Mm.
Nigma Galaxy, like you mentioned? Because both Aya and Aluka have been in the scene since I think the very beginning for the side of Nigma Galaxy, and they've been instrumental in this last map, and they seem like they know exactly what they're doing. Let's see if they can continue doing it on Breeze.
Absolutely, we will see just that right now. But in hindsight, it makes a lot of sense that a Sage is getting picked up here for Tricks, because if you take a look at the composition of AJ Resta, it's exactly what I was predicting earlier. It's a double duelist for the chamber and the chamber rather, so essentially a triple duelist at that. One of those being Arena, the other being, well, a chamber. And if there's one thing you need for playing against these sort of compositions where they just want to go and run into site, is to stop them or maybe even slow them down. And that's exactly the one good thing that a Sage is designed for. Slow them down and block their entrances is really going to buy so much time here for Enigma Galaxy to adapt and perhaps create other avenues and other sides of the map, which is what they're so good at. They showcase that so well in Haven, and I would argue that they have just as much avenue to go for these sort of lurks or aggressive pushes on the defense here in Breeze, because apart from the numerous areas where you can push up from the defense, you got halls, which you can basically inject yourself into the defensive side or the attacking side if they're not careful.
Yeah. The thing is, Nigma Galaxy is gonna be starting off on defense here,
Mm.
and they're just a little bit better on attack, so they have their work cut out for them on defense. Especially considering that Arista's attack is really strong. Of course, it is going to be with the double duelist at a half. I'm gonna call Chamber a half duelist here because he still does have that trademark that technically makes him a sentinel, but nevertheless, they have a lot to deal with these pushes coming in, and Breeze is a map where you can't afford to really lose even a single player on defense because there's just so many areas where these players can lurk up and possibly find the picks here. And I think one of the factors that might be huge when it comes to map control is going to be mid control and mid presence, because we've seen that Nigma Galaxy likes to go in for a little bit of mid aggression, finding those initial picks. And I'm curious to see if Aresta is really going to contest them on that, or possibly just let them have it and go in for a side hit instead.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried though for AG's lineup, because what kind of utility do they have in these sort of situations where they can't just go for these full-on fights? Not a lot. They got a chamber. They got Reina as well. It's so little to work with, so it makes me worried a little bit there, especially with the state of the game right now. So initiators are just the way to go. And seeing as the lack they're off here for AG, it's hard to imagine just how they're going to pull it off. But we gotta remember, Zach, this is their map pick, right? So I'm waiting for AG to show me why they picked this map against NGX. And it starts off right here, right now, and seems like in a B site. Trick's just ready for the barrier orb to be ready up, and she's actually going to back off at the perfect timing there. And Angela going to fall off because of Hannah. And Cindy will be able to trade it off. This time, who is on that Reina instead. Trick's getting overwhelmed by all of these members walking into her. And now, that's B-sites warned by AG.
It's going to be a 3v5 as well, you know, with 2 picks being found by the side of Nigma Galaxy here. But the thing is that 2 of these players from the side of Aresta are really low here. It's not going to matter as Rudy's nevertheless finds the headshot with that Headhunter pistol. True to its name, a beautiful shock dart as well, doing some damage to the chat. It's just Aya and Aluka left right now, the dynamic duo. Aluka on that chamber as well, not going in for the Reina this time, which is really nice because that 10 gives them a little bit of extra flexibility, I would say. Just Aluka right now in this 1v4, not able to find anything, and off the back of that, AG will take their next pistol. They always seem to win the first round of these mats today.
Yeah, pistols are so uncontested here for AG Aresta. And this time they will be again reinvesting as into the full buy as they did in Haven earlier. And I love that setup as well from Nigma Galaxy. Almost got the read in the B side. Hits, Tricks, just unfortunate timing. Just when she was about to pull up the barrier orb, she was like, you know what? No, I'm not hearing any noise at all. This is not like the AG that I know. But lo and behold, the moment she turns around and puts down the orb, the push happens. Now Tricks again with a little bit more aggression. And Cindy to cop that head off from Trix's shoulders. Now Hannah's again the only one here inside to meet them with just a sheriff. But oh, what a shot that was. Looking for the next one too, but Kit Kat to shut Hanu down. And again, the plan to go down in B.
Oh, it is gonna be the plant going down like you mentioned, and Cine finds one, Aluka finds one with that Marshall in trade, but both the only 2 Marshalls left right now. They can do at least a little bit of damage to the economy, which is what they're aiming for. Not if Cine has any of it though, because she's gonna walk off with 3 kills off the round, and 3 players still left alive here as well, so that's definitely huge coming in. Cine has definitely activated herself. She's gotten a little bit of ramen or coffee or whatever makes her tick, because this is a Cine that we know and love here, and it's really good to see her back because you know, she's the hero that the side of Aresta not only desperately needs but also deserves, I would say. They are gonna have that sheriff because they did lose 2 players. They do pick up the sheriff, and it's gonna be the bonus for the side of Aresta here. It seems like they want to go for a mid to A hit possibly, or a mid to elbow hit, but so far they're doing great, especially with that first pick being found by them consistently.
Already looking so much better than their first game here. AG only losing 2 members, contrary to their wipeout in the game number 1. And so far, the composition of NGX not really working to halt these pushes from AG, because time and time again they put their defensive characters or champions or agents rather in B side, but not really paying dividends as to stopping this push happening down in B main. And again, they push down this time, taking a different route. Tricks a little bit of a backpedal position here, a little bit more safe. Hannah picks up 1, and again, it's a trade to come in. But the plant's still unstoppable here for AG.
Ooh, they also managed to pick up that upgrade, so that might be the game changer, as Angela does have that Vandal to work with. Rudy's, though, she's going to be lying in wait. If anybody tries to come to this elbow here, it's going to be Rudy's that they have to cut it with. She's going to peek at the right time and take down Aluka. In fact, Angela finding one with the Vandal as well. It's going to be just 2 players left right now for the side of Nigma Galaxy. Aya takes down 1 player, 29 HP left on her, though, and still has 3 to find as the spike keeps ticking.
Wow.
And with that, it's going to be AG taking the bonus here. And that was, again, Angela and City both showing up huge here as they make their way into side. Hanu, for her troubles, does manage to find 1 onto the side, but again, she gets overwhelmed, and this seems to be AG's strategy on this map here. Run at them with everything we have and take them down 1 by 1, and it's working fantastically, like no complaints at all.
Yeah, they don't even use a lot of utility to get into side. It's just Angelus dashing in with the cloud burst and to the recon vault, and that's it. They get the kills. They shut down Trix and Hanu, who for the most part had been doing a decent job of getting those first few touches. It's just that they're always traded out. And round number 3 is theirs. 3-0 AG is already looking so different from the last game, 3 rounds in. And again, this time they repositioned the Sage Wall down in A site, which is exactly where... Oh, look at that with a shot onto Cine. So this is going to halt them a little bit, but for how long? Because it's still the guns to make it their way into the hands of AG, and ever so slowly they're making their way into A.
Oh, this looks really, really scary here. Kit Kat, the only player left to that corner, has to try and make things work. If anybody decides to come through mid, she's gonna opt not to take that fight. In fact, pushing out with Angela, already finding a pick, tries to get the second as well, will find it. Takes a lot of damage though. It's going to be 11 HP to her name left, and Gwen is finally gonna be able to take her down. But the damage has been done with 2 picks already going through for the side of AG here. Aluka as well, trying to go for a chamber versus chamber fight, but Rudy's is gonna find the better of her. Rudy's looking for the last pick. Hanu will take her down, but it's gonna be Hanu against the world here. 2 kills left to find. 45 HP to her name. We'll find that upgraded Vandal, but it's gonna be the shock dart, in fact, that might possibly take her down or at least push her back. Sansender is gonna close things out 4-0 for Aresta right now. And while that was a bit of an eco round coming in from them, it's not gonna matter because the economy is looking to be like slowly but surely built up for the side of Aresta here. As even though they lose 3 players, look at the buys. They still have so much money in the bank, and they're also just 1 away from the Viper's pit. So that's yet another ultimate that can really make the round work for them.
You know what? You called it, Zach. Angela was just warming up in game number 1. She's finally online now, and well, it seems like she's taking the rest of Aresta with her on the momentum boat into victory here in Breeze. 4-0. I mean, I know it's too early to call, but Hyrule is going to call upon that Viper Spit to hopefully deter them from this B aggression. Aluka here to double down as well on security, but is she going to connect another shot in? Sentry is going to fall down. TP's on back into safety, and then that's the elbow push there getting denied by NGX. So might be the turn of tides they're looking for here. Unless Cine pops off here on the Empress. Of course, does have that ready. Doesn't have the Leers anymore. They don't want to contest this Viper Spit at all. But look at mid. It's already getting swarmed by NGX.
Oh, this is a very, very rough situation right now. As Sentry goes down, that's going to be one of the major ultimates offline for Aresta here. And it's going to be Trix who's trying to hold on this A side. Ayaz will finding Kit Kat, taking her down. And that's going to be the spike drop. So a bit of information given away here. Hanu finding yet another. Angela finally getting a trade, but she's going to be brought down to 55 HP. And the side of Aresta doesn't really have a healer either. So it's just going to come down to Rudy's and Angela who have to try and make things work here. It seems like they want to somehow find Hanu and try to take her down, because if they can manage that, it's going to be the B side open. But look at Gwen, she's going to be lurking her way up towards this elbow angle here. Will in fact spawn Angela, but it's not going to matter as Angela still gets the headshot.
Wow.
It's going to be a 2v3 right now. Advantage still in the hands of Nigma Galaxy. But Hanu, well, she's going to be the last hit, but she goes down! That's going to be the kill that might make the round here. Angela will be able to get the spike down and bring it to a 2v2. And it was a 2v5, I think. It looks like it's going to be a 2v2 right now. A little bit of an overpeak, though. That's going to be Angela finding, going down there, and Trix gets another kill as well. With that, Nigma Galaxy find their first round. But it looks so scary for them off the back of those 3 kills. Oh, God.
That was absolutely terrifying there. The way Aya swung in into a kill against I believe that was yeah, Angela. I believe that was swinging against Aluka inside the smoke, and then against Hanu, both going down. It's super scary. Thankfully NGX was able to bounce back and pick up the pieces, so to speak. They get themselves on the board finally, but with the absolute terror that is Angela popping off right now, I wonder how they're going to approach this. Perhaps if they get the read right on this operator, but I don't think anyone's going to walk into their crosshairs so far, apart from Rudy's. But a lot of noise being made down into base site already suggests that this is where AG wants to make their mark. Cloudburst coming in, Tailwinds into that site. And Hannah's the only one here yet again, trying to hold the line quite literally. But Angela again, another flick to shut down that defense. This time, Rotate coming in into A, leaving Angela all alone here to terrorize that B site. Meanwhile, NGX shut down all the stragglers coming in from mid as the plant finally coming in down into A. So 3 versus 4, a little bit more doable now for NGX.
Yeah, and Aya, though she took a bit of damage, she still has that Blaze Storm and will be able to get back to full HP here. However, it is going to be the Viper's Pit online, and as long as that's online, it's going to make things even more rough as this attempted retake comes through. Rudy's finding one, but the trade is nevertheless there. That's going to be a 2v3 right now, and off the back of that recon, they know exactly where these Nigma Galaxy players are coming from. KitKat finding one player already, Aluka going down here. Viper has to stay alive. Senderi has to stay alive here. Won't manage to do so, though she's really low. It's going to be a 1v1 right now, Aya versus Senderi. The defuse still has to come through, though, but there's no time yet. All Senderi has to do is play time here. And off the back of that snake bite, we'll find the round for Aresta. And this is what I'm talking about. The Viper's Pit is such a good ultimate, and it can prove to be a win condition even if your team is a player or two down. And that's exactly what happens. Senderi taking down Trix there was so huge, because that's the kill that won Aresta the round, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. 5-1, looking real rough right now for NGX. And well, AG, I was expecting them to be very, very creative with this map, because they picked it with this sort of utility drought composition, so to speak, but they're not being creative at all. It's just as plain and simple as it could be. They're just taking the fights, winning them, and they're winning all these rounds. 5-1, they forced another eco out of NGX here. And they're taking control of mid this time. Aya pushing up against this low orb. Again to Angela. Confidence on that tailwind. Aya activates her own. Cindy doesn't really have any idea that she's really close. And there you go. The punish against her. Are they going to get the upgrade actually? I don't think so. But still, the mid priority here for AG has been uncontested so far. And they look this... actually, I'm quite curious where they're going to decide to push up. With Angela going down... This is looking like a round NGX can translate on.
Yeah, the conversion potential definitely seems high here, because they already have two major picks coming in. And Rudy, she doesn't really have a weapon either. She's playing off the back of that Tour de Force. However, though, I like this coming in from Aresta. They're going to be playing super patiently as they try to hold on to these guns that were dropped. They believe that there might be a push coming in to try and retrieve these weapons. However, Nigma Galaxy, they're not taking the bait here. It seems like with 30 seconds left on the clock, they have to commit somewhere, and they want to go in for a B hit, but they have to take care of both Hanu as well as Aluka, who are on the site here. The Sova drone is going to be popped as they try to find where exactly these players are going to be playing. However, it's not going to really spot out anything, I would say. Ooh, Hanu with the cheeky shot is going to take the spike down. It's all down to just one player right now. KitKat has to make this work. Does just make her way around, finds that pick, but she's going to be traded out. And that Thrifty, like you mentioned, Matt, is definitely going to be working out for Nigma Galaxy. Off those two initial picks, and they didn't even need any guns to do that. I don't think they managed to retrieve any of those guns at all.
Yeah.
It was all just sheriff shots.
Yeah, they pick up the first kill against Aya, and from there out, they didn't even inch forward to try and get that gun at all. Because look at this, all the kills are just sheriffs here for NGX. Trix getting the final nail in the coffin against KitKat. And that's the second round. That's gotta feel rough for AG, who has been having a beautiful first half here. Of course, job is not done here for Nigma Galaxy. Their bank is still not as built up as they hoped it would. We will activate the blades on the hands of Angela, and Aluka falling down means that AG again starting off with a good advantage here.
Things are looking pretty bad right now because, Nigma Galaxy, even though they won the last round, their economy is good, but they don't really have rounds that they want to lose here, especially on this defensive half, because on attack, they're going to be a little bit curtailed because since they only have one duelist, unlike the double duelist combo, which the side of Aresta's rocking here, it seems like they do want to go in for this A hit. There are 3 players available from the side of Nigma Galaxy, and Aya, she's going to make it count as she finds a headshot onto Angela and, completely details the push here. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, every time a player from Aresta falls, their push just entirely comes to a standstill here.
Yeah.
It seems like they're going to be going in for a B hit right now as the Empress is propped by Simi, and it might be what they need here. It's all down to just Hanu, who has to try and hold on to this site in this 5v4 as Trix gets the resurrection in. However, Sini has made her way onto the site here and is holding for any of these players who peek out. It's not going to matter though, as Hanu and Gwen both find a pick each. It's going to make it a 2v4 right now. Kit Kat pushing her way up, will spot one player, but she manages to stay safe as she stucks herself into the corner, waiting for this retake to work out. All down to just Kit Kat. Does have the Hunter's Fury, but no safe place to really pop it, and she's gonna be stuck. She's gonna get caught between two players there, as she has to go in for the reload. A little bit awkward, and with that, Nigma Galaxy find their third round.
Yeah, nowhere to go there for
Nowhere to run.
for Kit Kat. But I gotta say though, AG, I mean, last couple of rounds haven't really went their way, but I gotta commend just the composure that they found seemingly out of nowhere. This is a team that's playing so much more together, so much more cohesive, contrary to their last game in Haven, where it felt to me like they were a little bit more scrambled. But now, I feel like this is really. I don't know if this is the best time to call for a timeout here. They're going for the eco, but maybe this is just the momentum breaker here for NGX, who have found again their foothold into this half. I mean, sure, it's a little bit later than earlier, but still they're building that bank and that momentum for themselves. And AG, it's this time their turn for the eco, so again, get that momentum stopper from NGX while they still can, while they still have the upper hand. But honestly, Zach, it's looking a lot like an NGX comeback into this half again.
Yeah, we saw that last time around as well. If you let them start getting rounds in a row, it's not going to be very good for them. So this is a really good timeout, because even though it's an eco round and they might not be able to do much, it's still like, at least like it gives them like some time to think and possibly plan for their next buy up. So that's something to note. And I really like that play coming in from Trix here. Even though she's on the stage, she's just doing so much for her team there. Whether it's holding on to a particular entrance towards the site and being able to wall it off and hold onto it off the back of that, or just getting those perfectly timed resurrections or heals. And she's doing so much here. And look at this angle she's holding towards mid. She knows that AG like to go for this expensive mid aggression here, and she's got to be able to watch the cross. Unless, of course, you're going to be sneaky like Kit Kat, tucking your way in and making your way forward. Trix will find the first pick onto Cine here. Just take a little bit of damage, but it's not going to matter. It's still going to be a 4v5 now. She finds a second as well onto Kit Kat, finding the timing perfectly.
So creative on this stage. Trix finds two. Not really paying anything for it. But again, it is the eco after all for AG, but NGX, they're more importantly here, apart from the rounds and the eco and the score, is that NGX is breaking the mental of AG. Now, look, they completely shut down, not even finding anything off those guns. It's a 4-5, the flawless for NGX, and this is the exact same spot where they turned things around in the last game. After that round 2 flawless, where they shut down AG completely, it was just the NGX show. But things are a little bit different now. AG still has the upper hand, and they still have the Hunter's Fury to bank on. And perhaps a couple of kills on Senderi can get that Viper Spit going for themselves in this round again. So maybe this half is not out of their hands yet, Zach.
Yeah, and I think on the opposite side, it's going to be Aluka, who has the tour de force but doesn't really choose to activate it. And I really got to call out Hanu here, because she's doing so much for the side of Nigma Galaxy. I think she's been solo holding onto this B side for so long here. Even now, as she tries to, toss down the snake bites to try and stall any kind of possible push here, it's not going to stop Angela, of course. She's just going to dash her way in. But look at Hanu's position. She still manages to stay alive here and hold on. In the meantime, she's going to be spotted out by the recon, but she's not going to be moving an inch, trying to hold on to this position here. And Angela, she has to take this fight and somehow win it. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening, as Gwen is there to back her up. With that, the rotation call comes in to go to the ace side here. But because of the fact that they haven't really found anything till now, they still have to deal with like 3 players towards this mid area here. They have found a pick towards Hall. Strix goes down, but it might not matter here. Kit Kat, though, she's going to take down Aya, and with that, the round completely shifts in this side of Aresta's favor. Aluka, though, she doesn't want to let this go. In this 1v2, Kit Kat has to find something. Pops the Hunter's Fury.
Yeah.
Doesn't really connect it with anybody. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, she has to somehow get the spike down. Finds a pick onto Gwen. 1v1 right now. And she finds the headshot. Kit Kat with the 3K is going to close it out. She's going to be the hero that Aresta needs. And what a round coming in from her. Can we watch that again, please?
I thought that was doomed when she popped that Hunter's Fury completely blind. But again, this is what I was talking about. When you've got that Halls on uncovered and unaccounted for, the attacking squad can just infiltrate the defense and inject themselves into it. And Alka made the most out of it, and then put themselves in an almost unlosable spot, only for KitKat to absolutely pop off. And just like I said, Zach, they can bounce back. I mean, AG was, of course, an unconventional way to do so, with one of their members absolutely popping off. But hey, a win is a win, 6-4. And they keep their lead here, 2 rounds. Technical pause here for both of our teams, so a bit of a breather for both of them. But man, NGX are really getting a run for their money in Breeze.
Yeah, and I mean, it's to be expected. It is their map pick. The question is, can Nigma Galaxy do the same on their attack? Because Nigma Galaxy doesn't want to let this go to Ascent. It's a map where both teams have had success, but they don't want to risk it. They have the advantage here. They're probably looking to close it out 2-0 here. Looking at this round, though, looking at the economy rather, it seems like both these teams will be able to buy in. However, Aresta, if they lose this, they're not going to have enough money for the next buy. They do have a really good chance of winning it, though, because they are going to have the Viper's Pit online again. And we saw how much of an impact you can have the last time it was down. I think it was a 2v3 by the end of it. And Senderi, she managed just to hold on to her life. The Viper's Pit and, of course, the round as well off the back of that. So that might be something that really, really plays an impact in Hanu as well. Again, she's been shutting down the B side single-handedly, and she's going to be able to do so again off the back of her own Viper's Pit.
Yeah.
So definitely something to watch out for. And the thing is that if she manages to hold on to B side by herself, that's going to free up a lot more players towards this A side. As you can see, it's going to be, in fact, a Halls push coming through, I think, from these players. Look at Aluka's aggression.
No.
She's going to miss, though, as Cine finds a headshot. That was completely unexpected. You don't see Aluka miss those usually, but this time it's going to be the case. And off the back of that, this A side looks like it's in so much danger right now. Aya stuck between two sets of players here, has to try and desperately stay alive in that corner, trying to find one. Does take down KitKat, finds 2 in fact for her troubles. Angela finally shuts her down, though, and with that it's going to be a 2v3, and Senderi, she's still alive, though that's still the Viper's Pit available.
Yeah. So it's Hannah, though, so they can play both of these Viper's Pit on the post plant. Headshots not connecting as of yet. Cine holding down the line on 2 of those players, the last 2 for that matter, down to 1 HP as Cine goes down. Angela for the trade. Now it's all down to Hanu, who, my mistake, doesn't have the Viper's Pit anymore actually, but go in for the dip. She picks up Angela. Okay, 1 versus 1 between the Vipers now. She makes the roundabout just outside of this marshmallow. But look at this cheeky position from Senderi. Uh-oh. She's not going to be expecting this at all, and she doesn't. Senderi to close it out. And like you said, Zach, the power of the Viper's Pit really shines here in Breeze. 7-4. And NGX at a backpedal position. I don't think they have any creds to work with here in the last round, but Aya, such a valiant effort holding down in that site.
Yeah, that was phenomenal coming in from Aya. You know, when you're in that kind of a position, it's do or die, and she definitely managed to get 2 somehow. I don't know how she does it. I think that Nigma Galaxy still will be able to buy in. In fact, it's gonna be Aluka going in for an actual operator this time rather than the Tour de Force. However, Rudy's will have her ultimate as well, so it's going to come down to Chamber versus Chamber op, possibly if they peek in the same directions. However, it seems like it's gonna be a bit of a default coming in now for Aresta. They've gotten the advantage. They have the momentum. They want to play a little bit slow here and possibly get some utility out of the pockets of Nigma Galaxy before they make their way onto site. However, though, look at Aya. She's going to be walking up here towards this elbow area and finds Angela. She gets the timing so perfectly here. And with that, the advantage is going to be for the side of Nigma Galaxy with that first pick here. Aluka as well, she's going to be spotted out with the operator. So that's going to be something that they really don't want to peek into unless they have to. They're going to try and get like another pick possibly off this elbow or mid area. But Nigma Galaxy, they're not taking the bait here, Matt. They're so patient and they're so ready for Aresta's play here.
You got this crossfire set up for Aya and Aluka on the op. Still here in B side, the looming possibility of getting that pick on these ults is just so real here for AG. But it seems like they've made up their minds. They want to commit down in B despite the operator being theirs, which might be the bane of their existence. And there you have it, Cine. Gonna fall the first. The second is gonna be KitKat, and Aluka is not done. Neither is Aya. They pick up Rudy's as well. Look at Aya with the fancy feet. And then GX to close down the half with a 5-7 flawless. I mean, Zach, when Aya gets the first pick in these lurks, it's just so difficult for AG to bounce back.
Aya and Aluka again stepping up huge there. I think that entire round was just them fragging out. Aya with 3, Aluka with 2, and that's the Nigma Galaxy that the side is. That's the Nigma Galaxy we're used to seeing here, and we finally see them come back into play as they find 5 to 7 right now. Sure, Aresta does have a little bit of an advantage, but that might not matter too much here because Breeze is a map where attacking wise, definitely Nigma Galaxy has a little bit more success, and the aggression that they can bring to the table, we might be seeing that yet again. So you can't really count this map into Aresta's pocket yet because 5-7, it could be anybody's game,
Yeah.
honestly.
And I feel like really the main struggle there for NGX on the defense is that mainly they opt for that aggressive play on the jet to get that opening pick, right? But the thing about that is it's really, really risky, right? And it's not the easiest thing to do when you're in Breeze. It's not like Haven anymore, where there's a lot less angles to watch out for, contrary to Breeze that is absolutely huge. There's so many places that where enemies can come out from, and it's such a risky play that we've seen sort of go like 50-50 for NGX Way. Now, though, they're going on the attack. There's less avenue for AG to be unpredictable because they're on. They have to hold the all of these defensive entrances to the sides, right? So Aluka and Aya again, they might create that space that we saw in Haven that AG just wasn't able to find an answer for. But at least now they have a little bit of an advantage, a 2-round advantage. But can they keep that advantage here, Zach? We know how well AG are at starting these pistol rounds with these, or starting these games with these pistol rounds, but they haven't been able to replicate that in the second half.
Yeah, that was the case on Haven, definitely. What I'm really watching out for is how Aresta is going to be playing this defensive half because they do have both Angela and I believe it was the other duelist. They have 2 duelists here, and they really want to try and make that aggression count with a little bit of mid control possibly coming in. And this is going to be the play that can really impact the game here because if Cine and Angela can find those first picks and fall back to safety, that's going to make Nigma Galaxy's job so much rougher. We saw especially Cine on Haven, right? We saw how much success that those rounds had when Cine was able to get that first pick. And I think both Angela and Cine will be looking to do the same again on this defensive half because as long as they succeed and play together, they will be able to possibly retain an advantage. However, something else to note here is that Nigma Galaxy, they only have 1 duelist. So Angela, Aluka, and Aya were able to play together as a double duelist comp last time and get the advantage. But this time, it's going to be Aya on her own here. Seems like she wants to go in for a mid push. Will be spotted up. Angela, and gets a nutty headshot onto her. Sees a second player as well, but she's not going to be falling back to try and get it. City has to try and stay alive here. In fact, it's going to be her just pushing into side, and off the back of that, Senderi has to hold on here. The thumbs in, not going to be able to find anything though. With that, the advantage is going to go to the side of Nigma Galaxy. They're 1 player up, but look who's remaining. It's going to be Rudy's and Cine here. But these players have agents that can be absolutely devastating, especially Cine. If she can get a pick here, she's going to be able to get that overkill and possibly find that kill as well. Hanu will be the first point of contact. Will find 1 for her troubles. Rudy will find 2 headshots somehow. Just Trix left right now, and well, Trix has her tricks up her sleeve. She's gonna find that pick, but for a second it looks so scary there for the side of Nigma Galaxy.
A couple of swings there for Rudy's. I mean, started off pretty rocky with Cine falling down, but look at those couple of shots against Gwen and Cine. Oh, so scary. I mean, really, or rather not Cine, but I believe that was Hannah. Yeah, fell down from Nigma Galaxy. Thankfully, Trix was there for the trade, and I told you, Zach, AG really have a lot banking on that pistol round, but NGX again with the second half opener winning the pistol, gonna propel them in terms of firepower this time, as they go for the B side stack quite curiously. A is just getting swarmed by AG all the way down to the defender side spawn. This is a curious strategy here. But it's gonna get NGX their plant, and then the post-plant positions are gonna be there. So AG, massive task at hand here. Makes you wonder if NG is gonna find something out of this shorty, but let's wait and see. Maybe she can.
Oh, I love that play coming in from Hana, though. She realizes that that Poison Orb might be able to let these players come up through it, especially if they have a shorty or something. And that's going to be the case, though. If this goes down, it's going to be Angela stuck in a really bad spot. And yep, that is going to be her finding one. This crossfire between Angela and Trix as well, doing a lot of damage here. There's just 2 players left right now. Make that one. Rudy's in this 1v5, trying to get some exits at least. We'll be able to find one for her troubles. Can she get the second? No, Pano is going to take her down. And with that, it's going to be a 7-7 equalizer coming through for the side of Nigma Galaxy, and they keep 4 of their weapons. So three players, 3 weapons alive, and 4 players. So something else that's really working out in their favor. We did see Aresta manage to take this bonus here. The question is, can Nigma Galaxy do the same and take the lead?
Yeah, it's a question we're gonna answer in just a few. But look at Hanu. She got so many kills in that first couple of rounds that she's 1 away from the Viper's Pit again, and with the Bulldog in her hands, that's the most powerful weapon in their arsenal right now. It's a very real possibility here, especially with the way she's been performing in this game so far. She's been playing so reserved, but it's been so effective here for Hanu. And again, it's looking a lot like a beast site open site here for AG as they quickly rotate down into A off the single information that they heard from NGX. Might be just a pivotal thing here, especially with the short range weapons of NGX. Trix down to 38. She heals herself back up into about 70 health. But again, a lot of noise being made here. Aya for the first contact. There goes the Viper's Pit to go down. But Hanu immediately falls, and AGL, they go to town. Aya, the last one standing here. Viper's Pit no more. No more teammates either. Gonna have to isolate these fights, but won't even find that frag onto Rudy's. And AG back on the board 8-7. And nope, they won't be giving away that bonus round, but really making it so close here for NGX. Even investing Viper's Pit, banking on that. But Sendry was huge in that round.
Yeah, that was insane, especially from Angela. You know, she had the she didn't care about any kind of possible recon or utility being used. She managed to hide perfectly behind Hanu's Viper wall and really make a count there. So that is going to be the bonus, not going in Nigma Galaxy's favor. They do have their full buy this round, and it seems like they want to go in for a very straightforward B hit here. As a drone comes through, it's going to be Rudy, so has to try and stay alive and possibly get a pick or two before she TP's out. But no, she's going to be forced off the angle almost immediately. And with that, the B site is going to be open for business. Rudy's is still towards his backside here, so if they get a little bit too trigger happy or a little bit too aggressive here, they're going to be really paying for it. Rudy's already finding one. KitKat taking down another. Rudy's with a second to her name, and with that, it's going to be a 2v5. Just gonna be Aluka and Hanu left in this 2v5 situation right now. Make that just one player. Aluka all alone on a lonesome has made her way with the lurk here. Spots out one player, tries to go for the trigger discipline, but Senderi, she's having none of that, and that's gonna be a flawless 9th round for Aresta, who once they have these guns in their hand are looking quite unstoppable.
They keep their lead, and they deny NGX of anything more in the second half, despite having a very clean first 2 rounds. And AG really making it hard for NGX to bounce back right here. I mean, another eco right now, and Aluka with the hero buy. Hana was absolutely pivotal in the first couple of rounds, but unable to translate it any further, means that they only have sheriffs to work with this time. And they're really banking everything on Aluka's Vandal this time.
It's gonna be huge here, but Trix already fighting 2 with those sheriffs here. Absolutely insane coming in from her, and off the back of that, she's only 1 away from the resurrection as well. It seems like Aya and Trix, they don't want to let this bonus go anywhere close to away. We've seen them win these overwhelmingly disadvantaged rounds before with just sheriffs here, and Trix is gonna start things off in style. They're gonna be trying to hold on to those weapons and making sure that they don't really manage to pick them up. Trix, though, she has the Vandal already, and she seems to be ready for the fight here. Senderi, though, will take her down, and with that, it's going to be a 3v3 right now. Aya has to stay alive here and make things work. Does find that pick, and that's going to be the Bladestorm reset as well, which is phenomenal here. Oh, I don't know what that flick was. It was absolutely dirty here as she takes down KitKat with a headshot. All down to Rudy's in this 1v3. Her position is known, and it's not going to matter because Aya is going to find that 3k and that Bladestorm headshot. What a round from Nigma Galaxy. We thought it was going to be the round for Aresta here, but Trix and Aya, they're like, nope, we're gonna hit some headshots, we're gonna make this work, and it's gonna be round number 8 for them.
I mean, just play with sheriffs and GX. Just use. Just don't buy weapons. Just buy sheriffs each round. I mean, this is the second time we've seen this happen. It's a little less clean than the last time, but they make it work still in NGX. What is this newfound resurgence of confidence that they get when they put themselves in these sheriffs, and now they translate it into the full gun buy as Aluka picks up a second. And that's Cine and Rudy's gone. Op still in play. Aluka picks up Senderi. And now, before the assault even begins, they've already crumbled the defense of AG as they make their way into B sites.
Yeah, it might be just a save coming in right now for the side of Aresta here. Their economy not really looking really healthy after these consecutive losses. Unless they find a pick or two really quick, they're gonna be better off just trying to hold on to these weapons, and that does seem to be the plan here. But I have to talk about IAM, and what was that shot? You know, you hear the chamber out being popped. You really want to be careful around these angles, but Aya doesn't care. She just she basically runs into mid and taps Rudy's and then falls back. Like, that was so dirty coming in from her there. And that's the thing, right? Aresta is one of those teams which, if you give them the shot, it is going to be yes, it is going to be probably a double or triple operator online, which was the case here because both Angela and Rudy's were holding down the line. But what do you do if a player like Aya just decides to look into you and say, nope, you might have the op, but I am a headshot machine? What do you do in that case? Look at this.
Just pray to the gods. Just pray. Honestly. 9-9 here in NGX. Oh, they're just looking so good again. And it seems like all it took was just that 150 round, and lo and behold, AG's defense is completely dismantled. Not just for that one round, but from here on out, NGX riding as... I don't know. I don't even know what to call it, man. But momentum definitely in their hands. Aluka just was absolutely beautiful in that round. So was Aya. Now on the 20-digit kill line. NGX changing things up a bit. Again, they go for the mid aggression. Viper Spit called upon in A side, so that limits their options a little bit, but not really eyeing for the A side control anyway. Aluka looking to become that aggressor on the op once more, but that shot making its sound in mid means that NGX going to revisit down the B site where Rudy's was holding the line. Trick's going to use that ulti to revive her teammate, but Hannah picks up Rudy, so it's a 5 versus 3 now with the Hunter's Fury going wide. The retake about to commence. Your plant coming in finally. 3v5.
Oh, wow. That was insane coming in from Aya. Again, finding that first blood. And this is the thing. Aresta have to win this round because without it, it's going to be a broken economy for them. And things are going to be so rough for them. Cine does have that Empress and she's looking to capitalize off the back of that. But she has to find these picks and she has to find them fast. And so far, the side of Nigma Galaxy, they're going to be playing cautiously as ever. It's going to be KitKat though finding the first pick here. Aya getting the trades. But so far, it seems like Nigma Galaxy are online to take this round here. 1v3 right now. Cine has so much to do. But she finds 2 to her name. It's gonna be just the operator left right now as she tries to find the headshot. No! It's gonna be Aluka who TP's out. Still has to get the stick, and it's not gonna be happening as Aluka will close it out. But for a second, it looked so scary there as Cine went absolutely ham. But with that, that's gonna be a broken economy for the side of the defense here. And more than that, Aresta, well, they don't have the rounds either because the Nigma Galaxy would not take the lead.
Cine was spectacular in that round. Look at this double kill right here. So quick. Didn't even lose a single tick of HP. Aluka a little bit shaky here on the end, but still able to close it off because of the time advantage. And here we are, 10-9 NGX. They've completed it. They're again back in the driver's seat. This time a little bit lopsided though, with Angela picking off one of those members. Oh, but the shots whiff from Rudy's. Hopefully we'll be able to survive from now. NGX, can they bounce back from Aya falling down? Aluka still has the op. And this time they have a Hanu holding on to that Viper's Pit. So as long as they get themselves into sight, they should be good here.
Indeed, that's the case. But so far, looking at where the players from Aresta are positioned, it's not gonna be very easy because you have two players on each side. So unless they manage to find those initial picks, which Io was doing for them, it seems like they're not gonna be able to possibly get the spike down here. It seems like they do want to possibly go in for a B commit here off the back of the Sova recon being recharged, and the dart from the side of the defense isn't really gonna spot anything. So they might be able to catch these players off guard. It is going to be Rudy's and KitKat on the side here. KitKat especially coming in as a replacement for Iznaki, doing a fantastic job on this map. But this is going to be a round which is really crucial. And Aluka is going to be spotted out as well with that operator. KitKat will hear a player running towards her and will hit that nutty headshot. Angela there to back her up. And with that, it seems like the B side has been shut down here with Rudy's taking down Hanu as well. Just Aluka left in this 1v4 with the operator. No time left either as only 15 seconds remain on the clock. And it seems like Aresta, they don't want to let this map go at all. They want a map number 3. They want to hold on to their chance to qualify for that elite slot here. And it's going to be Aluka who goes down finally. And they might even be able to retrieve that operator, which can be huge.
Yeah. But key thing to note here, Aluka still has that tour de force, has been hanging on to it for, I believe, 4 rounds now, or if not 5 or more. AGL, when they get their first frag, especially against Aluka or Aya, it seems like NGX really start to falter. Which should be the key here for AG Aresta. Perhaps play a little bit more conservatively, but honestly, I don't blame them if their playbook has been running out as of the moment for both of these teams, because both teams just fighting tooth and nail for that slot. I mean, of course, AG, everything to lose in this game. And NGX 10-10 equalizer is now at hand. Aluka and Aya activates both of their ultis, but it's tricks to pick up Angela. And again, the mid aggression. This time gonna get challenged from both the front and the back. But it's a little bit too late because look at NGX already marching their way into site. Rudy's is still here. Can she hold the line? No, she can't. It's KitKat who picks up 2. But the Viper Spit being called upon, it's gonna be so hard from here on out for AG. Here comes the blades from Arya though. Can she get the shots in? She gets 1. Now the Marshmallow of Death is finally here. 2 versus 3. Can Cine and Sendry translate this round?
I mean, they had to fight the Viper first, and Hanu, well, she's playing this so carefully here, doesn't want to let this go by any means. She's going to be playing towards the backside. They do have a Lear to work with. Senderi finding Hanu off the back of that. Oh, that is huge here. And with that, they might be able to get the defuse possibly when finding one. Well, we'll go down though to Senderi. It's all down to Aya here, who has to try and take her out before she can get the stick. But Senderi finds the headshot, and she has had the defuse as well. And with that, Aresta take their lead back. What a retake from them, Senderi, especially going so massive there, finding those 3 kills, taking down the Viper Spit and getting the defuse as well. Oh my god, what a round from Aresta. I thought it was over after Aya got this kill onto KitKat, but nope, they never give up and they never give in.
They invested everything into that round. 2-1 GX. Viper Spit, the guns, their eco is completely wasted now. Sendry with an absolutely spectacular performance. It was a bit unfortunate as well for Hanu. The moment she stepped up front against B main is the exact same time that Sendry decided to push it up, and Hanu just simply wasn't ready for it. Sendry just capitalized on it so quickly, and then it capped it off so beautifully as well, getting the 3K to end it. And then GX certainly going to get this time out 10-11. I mean, it looked done for a second there. The round looked done for NGX until it wasn't. And now they're at the back pedal once more, the back foot position once more, 10-11 against match point that is at a hand's reach, it seems like, for AG. Wow. This game is just the game that keeps on giving here, Zach. Can NGX bounce back, or will AG stretch us into round or into game number 3 here? Let's see.
I mean, it's going to be the last round where Nigma Galaxy can really buy in, and it's going to be their last chance to possibly try and keep AG from taking it home here, because there's no redo after this. It's gonna, if they lose this, it's gonna be match point for AG and possibly the game coming through as well. The Hunter's Fury is invested, will do some damage to Senderi, but she manages to dodge it and stay alive. And in the meantime, KitKat looking so incredibly strong on this map here, will be able to take one already down towards the halls here. Will in fact tag another player and pop that Hunter's Fury, trying to take her down, but neither of the Hunter's Furies are gonna find anything here. Angela gets a little bit too happy down there and she will be taken down, but KitKat is still holding on strong towards this Hall's angle as she does her best to keep the site from going into the hands of Nigma Galaxy. They do have their Viper and their Sage utility available though, so they should be able to get the spike down at the very least, as Gwen finds one. Senderi, though, she finds the trade quickly and she's still on this backside here. They have to deal with her before they can possibly get the spike down here. Only 36 seconds left, 36 HP left on her though, so she has a lot to do here. However, her team is here to back her up.
Yeah. Seem to be backing off for now. They do have enough time to go for the rotate, I believe, but AG is going to be making their way there faster into B site. But at least they'll be able to isolate these fights and at least get a chance at equalizing the firepower here in B site, where look at them making their way here at the same time. Hanu with a nice shot, and now Tricks to double down. And suddenly NGX, they turn it around. Oh, Senderi has got the ult ready, but it's looking doomed here for AG. 36 health, all it takes is one bullet from these Vandals.
Yeah, so looking really good right now for the side of AG here. Does spot out one player, does a little bit of damage, but like you mentioned, Matt, she's only one bullet away from her demise. And the thing is, Hanu is also only 1 HP left on her. Oh my god, that was so close here. We'll find that pick. Okay. Has the Viper spit as well, so she can try to commit it, but Trix isn't going to let her get anywhere near that spike. And that's the thing, right? You expect the last players to possibly be playing far away for time, but Trix, she's always there for the trade. And she always goes huge here. I think this is the second time that she's clutching out a 1v1, but man, this push coming in from Trix and Hanu was insane. Completely caught the defense off guard, and with that, we're back to 11-11 right now. The economic damage was done here, though. I think we will be seeing some light armor possibly for the side of the Nigma Galaxy players, but it's gonna be even worse right now for Aresta because they have absolutely no economy here. They didn't even have any ultimates to work with. There's no Short of Force or Blade Storm, so I think Nigma Galaxy they're very much capable of taking this to overtime or possibly closing it out if they can.
Absolutely. Oh, there you go. With the first two frags going their way too. Angela will be getting one trade. But Silver Lining Sentry hasn't fallen as of yet. They still have the Viper Spit to work with. But at what cost? 3 is already going down. Make that 4. And Sentry slithers on to A main. But Aya, she knows. She knows exactly where Sentry's gonna come from. She caught wind of that snake slithering into shop. And now they all know. All it takes is one headshot here and they're all crouching down. Okay, Sentry picks up Aluka. Perhaps putting herself in a doable spot. She makes her way into the Viper's wall. The recon not really spotting her out. There's no info on where she's at right now. That's the good thing about this. But the bad thing is, it's 3 people. It's a snake bite. It's so much working against her. And there you go, NGX. Match point. Can AG extend us into overtime, into game 3? That's the question.
I mean, if you think about it, the last time Nigma Galaxy played this map, they did go into overtime. So yeah, that was the match, in fact, that pushed them into the loser bracket here. So they are probably having a little bit of PTSD from that experience, and they're going to be doing their best to prevent that from happening. Looking at the ultimates, though, it is going to be all the players for the side of Aresta are really, really close to theirs, and they also have the Viper Spit. So with that, they should be able to shut down one of these sites here. Possibly, I think the A site, yep, that's going to be committed by Senderi here. Aluka, though, she's going to peek out with that operator and find the first pick onto Cine, and she's just going to be blazing her way forward. Angela is going to be waiting to possibly get that refrag if possible. There are going to be 2 players here, though. Gets one, might even be able to get the second if she's careful. And yep, KitKat is there to back her up, and with that, that Halls push is completely stopped. However, Trix does have that ultimate available. Never mind, she goes down. That's no more resurrection on board. Hanu was able to get the trade, but again, that was such a huge pick coming out from the side of Aresta onto Trix there, because that was the resurrection that she could have possibly
Yeah.
used to get one of her teammates back up. And with that, it's going to be the rotation book to the B side here. KitKat again, having rotated over, is ready for this possible push coming in for the side of Nigma Galaxy. The Viper Spit, though, is available from Hanu, and it's going to be the Shock Darts invested to try and stall this plan. With that, it's going to be a 3v2 retake, but the spike still hasn't gone down. They keep trying to tap it to get these players to push into the Viper Split, but so far, the bait hasn't been taken. Senderi, though, she's going to be taking down Hanu almost. Just 6 HP left on her, has to clutch out this 1v2 to prevent an overtime, and that's not going to be happening. We're heading into overtime. 12 to 12 as Aresta keep their hopes and dreams alive in this best of 3.
Both teams just giving it everything they've got here, Zach. Overtime is where we're at right now, and AG refusing to go down in the night. Angela's position here was beautiful. Aya and Aluka just wasn't expecting it at all. The duo has been so pivotal in creating space for NGX. When you shut them down, it's going to be so hard to close out these rounds. And look at this. They struggled so hard to even get the spike down because they weren't sure where the members of AGL were. And that's the thing. AG they're so good at asserting their presence on this defensive side that NGX are always kept at the cusp of doubting whether or not their information is there. But now the operator from Alaka goes wide. Defensive hold here slowly falling apart in B site as they actually go for the site give instead. Plan coming in, retake 5v5 with the operator in the hands of Aluka. I wonder how this is going to pan out. Aluka has really been so good at on the aggression here, so I doubt it's gonna be a struggle here for Aluka to find value out of this op. Tailwinds in, Trix picks up KitKat, and off of that, it's gonna be a full-on bloodbath here as Outburst goes down,
God.
but Angela goes to town, so does the rest of AGL, and they clean house 13 to 12. They pick up the advantage in overtime.
I think that leaving, usually they have 2 players with a crossfire onto this B side, which is why it's so hard. But that operator not really panning out for the side of Nigma Galaxy makes sure that the retake was just impossible because the crossfires being held by these players was so good. Especially Cine there, pushing into Angela Smoke, finding a kill, taking the dismiss, and baiting yet another peek out with Angela ready to trade off it. That was just chef's kiss. Either way, though, AG is just 1 away from taking us to map 3, which is going to be Ascent here. All they have to do is win this defensive half. Again, it's going to be a quick B push coming in for the side of Nigma Galaxy here as they make their way onto side. But look at Rudy and Cine, that devastating crossfire paying off huge here as they find the first 2 picks. However, Aya and Gwen both managed to get the trade, so that's going to bring it down to a 3v3 here. Gwen, though, she's going to be at 30 HP, just 1 bullet away from her demise, and that might be her downfall here. However, looking at the position of these players, KitKat will be finding Hanu. That's huge. That's no more smokes available for these players here. Gwen and Aya have to keep the dream alive for Nigma Galaxy. We've seen Aya pop off those in these situations before. The question is, can she do it again? The snake bite coming through from Senderi will reveal the position of that particular player. Aya finding 1 already to her name. Gonna make it a 2v2 right now. But look at this push coming in. It's just down to Aya and this 1v2. This defuse starts to come through. 68 HP left on her, but will go down. And with that, AG, they will be able to get the defuse, take their map pick, and take us to Breeze possibly. Do they have time? Yeah, they have time. Oh, that looks really scary for a second. But yes, it's going to be 14 to 12. Nigma Galaxy again losing in that overtime. That's going to be some PTSD for them, I think. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be heading into Ascent. And what a map this was, Matt. Wow.
What a way to end that map as well. Man, I wouldn't have had it any other way, but we are going into map number 3 in Ascent, where I'm expecting this to be more of the same tune and Breeze, where it was so close. Both teams are absolutely phenomenal in Ascent, and absolutely anything and everything could transpire there, but man, I'm still dumbfounded by that game. It's just so back and forth between these 2 teams. It's so close. It's such a different tune to what we saw in Haven, where it was just Nigma Galaxy outperforming the Aresta. Let's take a look at the statistics real quick. Let's see who the MVP was for HG Aresta, because for a while it was Angela, but now it's honestly could be anyone. And there you have it. It's KitKat with the highest ACS in their team, but gotta commend AG, the adaptation was a team effort here for AG. They all bounced back together, and NGX just a little bit behind, but 14-12, man.
But
It's
Kit
yeah.
KitKat was so huge. Like even though Aya might have more ACS, I think that KitKat, when it came to kills, was just as, if not more, impactful. Like you saw her single-handedly lock down halls. You saw her help on those retakes so many rounds, especially on that B side. The last round as well, she was pivotal in managing to get the retakes happening. And her subbing in for Esnagi, that was possibly the game
Mhm.
changer here on
Yeah.
Breeze, because Esnagi is a good player. She's really good sometimes, but she's kind of inconsistent on that Silva. But KitKat, she was just huge today, and
Yeah.
it's going to be her propelling AG to that 14-12 scoreline. And I think with that, I think we're probably going to be seeing more of her coming in as well for two reasons. Number one, that she's absolutely insane. And the second, of course, I think we saw that on Haven, Isnagi was having some internet issues. So I don't think there are going
Mm.
to be any roster changes coming through for the side of these teams as we head into Ascent. But look at this coming in from these teams. Nigma Galaxy, they do have more damage done, but ultimately, objective wins wise, and even just raw frags wise, or even headshot percentage wise, honestly, it's gonna be Aresta who take away everything else here. And it was such a good
So
game coming in from
close.
them, especially the round which really stood out for me was, at least for Aresta anyway, that was towards mid where they had, where they completely stopped the momentum of Nigma Galaxy and took it home. But I think if I have to talk about my favorite moment from this game, Matt, it was that Thrifty coming through for Nigma Galaxy. 3 off the
Which
Blaze
one?
Storm, 2 off the Sheriff. That one, yeah. Trix and Aya just
Mm,
devastating the mental of the Aresta
yeah.
players there. This is the second time it's happening, I think. Maybe we'll see a third one in Ascent.
Yeah, I'm completely on the same page with you there. Despite really not winning the game, it was a beautiful performance all across the board there for NGX. I think they were just a little bit shaky to close it off, but there you have it, folks. 1-1 is the scoreline now. And we'll be having a game number 3, the last game of the day for this lower bracket run between these two teams. It is still do or die, still everything to lose for both of them. But before we head off to that, we'll be just having a short break, so stay there. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, guys. You're still watching the VCT Game Changers APAC Open Overtime. This is stage 2, the lower bracket between Nigma Galaxy and AG Aresta. This is the last game of the series. We're going the whole 9 yards, and we're going into Ascent to close it off. Zach, thoughts on this?
I mean, it could go either way. That's what I think. And looking at this so far, the way these teams are playing, they neither of them want to give this away easily, because I think the loser of this, they are going to be out of this tournament and
Yeah.
out of the chance for qualifying for VCT Game Changers Elite here. I believe the winner of which will be heading to Berlin to play in a LAN there for the Game Changers Masters slash Champions tournament there, international one. So there's a lot on the line here. Those 8 slots for Elite, they're extremely coveted and for good reason. And well, like we mentioned before, the top 3 from this overtime, they will be having a chance to play in Elite here. And this is the lower bracket. So whoever loses this matchup, they're out. They
Yeah.
have to try and make it an LCQ possibly. You really don't want to go through that. So yeah, I think that it's going to be Nigma Galaxy and Aresta both fighting tooth and nail to keep their dream alive here. And with that, we're going to be heading into Ascent. So let's see what kind of Asian comps these teams have lined up for us. It's going to be Senderi switching in from that Viper to the Astra here. A dedicated controller, I would say, for the team. KitKat as well, switching from that Sova to the Fade. We saw her being the MVP, the
Yeah.
hero for the side of Aresta. So question is, can she do the same, or can she do more with Fade?
Yeah, this is the thing with Aresta. When you put them at Ascent, you know they're gonna go for the full-on utility dump composition, as is what's showing right now. Even going for the Astra instead of the Omen, and they've got the KO. This, I believe, they don't have a Sova. Instead, going for the Fade route instead. I like that. Very, very interesting. For me, that AOE that the Nightfall offers really just opens up so much here for, especially on retakes or being on the attacking side here for Aresta. And I love that we're going into Ascent here for the concluder, Zach, because contrary to the first 2 maps, Haven being heavily Nigma favored, Aresta picking up Breeze for themselves. In Ascent, both of our teams here are very, very solid. Ascent, I believe, is the map where Aresta has had the most experience in the whole of Game Changers so far. And for Nigma Galaxy, it's one of their strongest maps statistically. I mean, no doubt about it. Both of these teams are so ready for ascent here, and can't wait for them to go toe to toe. It's AG starting off on the attacking side, which is a side that they do prefer most of the time anyway. But with the way that Breeze panned out, I think that well, Nigma Galaxy has already gotten a feel for how AG approaches these attacking sides, and I'm not sure because in Breeze, it felt to me like because Nigma Galaxy were winning those thrifty rounds, they were just having a bit of a shaky game adapting to Aresta. But if they find that composure that they had in the game number one, I think Nigma Galaxy still has the upper hand here in a sense.
Yeah, it might be the case here, especially considering they are back to their double duelist dynamic combo here. The female Forsaken and Jing today, anyway, of Aya and Aluka. We saw how impactful they were on that Reina and Jet in that first map. Of course, nevertheless, you did see Aluka still pop off on that second map on that chamber, but she wasn't really able to back Aya up. But now she's back on that Reina, so that might be a huge game changer here heading into Ascent. Also, fun fact, the only time that these two teams have matched up was, I believe, almost a year ago
Mm.
in the wild card tournament, I believe, or was it? No, it was Open Four. Sorry. So that time as well, it was Nigma Galaxy who won it, but it was really close. And on Ascent, it was 13-11 going to Galaxy,
Oh,
Nigma Galaxy there. So definitely something which they'll be looking to replicate, hopefully with the less of a scoreline. But the thing is that Aresta, they've gone through a lot of transition. A lot of team players have changed as well, and you never know. They're definitely looking to prevent the same fate from coming through again. And they're coming off the back of a win here. They're coming off the back of taking Breeze against the side of Nigma Galaxy, so
yeah.
they will be having at least the momentum in their favor. So I don't know. I think this map could definitely go either way here. The thing is, it's going to be the double initiator coming in for the side of Aresta. The question is, how effectively can they use it? Because I know that it's weird not to see Sova in a sense, but Fate can help you
Yeah.
just as much to get in those cheeky little wallbang kills, and her utility is a little bit more valuable, I would say, especially with the Sova being nerfed, right? With that drone being nerfed, the Prowler can give you the same amount of info, and you have two of them. So definitely Fade looking to be one of those agents you really want to watch out for. The ultimate as well, we've really seen how dangerous it can be on the map of Haven here. So yeah, I'm interested to see what kind of impact these players are having, because you also have that KO to watch out for, and if you know the lineups for it, you can
Oh
shut down
yeah.
any kind of attack coming in. So definitely something to watch out for. We are going to be heading into game finally though, so this is one for all the money here. The winner of this
Mm.
will move on, the loser will be out of overtime. Both of these teams have so much to lose here. Let's see who manages to take it home.
Yeah. A bit of a change of pace here for both of our teams. It's instead NGX's time to go for the full-on aggression, apart from, or contrary to Breeze, where it was AGL that really loved going for that frag-heavy composition. They're the ones who want to back off for the initiator to shine this time. The aggression coming in from NGX, still looking exact, or rather for Aresta, but Trix shuts down Cindy this time around, denying that push into that site. Aya holding the line still as Angeli goes down. Kit Kat makes her way into sight, but everyone actually just outside of it. 3 versus 2 now, with Cindery falling down means that Rudy's all alone in the back of the boathouse side. Picks up 1 kill. That is Trix. 1 HP left on, or actually nobody has 1 HP. Here comes, oh, Rudy's tinked down to 11 health. Can Aluka secure this round? Yes, she can. 1-0 NGX this time strike back with the pistol.
I think that this is the first time that GX have gotten that first pistol round, and that's not boding
Yes.
too well for Aresta here. They're used to starting off things with at least a 2-0 score. And I like this read coming in from GX. They know that Aresta like to go in for that mid control. Off the back of that, it's going to be Sova and Trix on the KJ playing towards that B backside. And it started off with that beautiful reveal coming in from the side of Gwen there. She did spot out and get City down for free, I think, through the smoke. So that was a kill that was a really huge kill going in there. This time it seems like they want to go in for an A push, but it's gonna be Aluka who's trying to hold down the fort. Flicks onto the body of Senderi. They're doing quite a bit of damage, and even though she's pushed off the angle for now, at least she still manages to do damage before going down. So that's pretty huge here. It is going to be an eco coming through for the side of Adriel here. They didn't really get the plants, so they're not going to be able to really buy any extra weaponry either. There is the frenzy on Rudy's, but that's all they really have in their pockets.
Yeah. But we have Nobody going down as of yet, and AG slowing things down a notch. Instead, going for the rotate down into B, where the Marshall and the Killjoy both are hanging about here for tricks. A little bit playing with fire there as they go for the jump peak. Haunt at their ready, and it seems like they're ready for the execute right here. Again, AG with the calculation of just how much damage they can get with the slow paced play that they're doing right now. Cine picks up Gwen. Can open up sight for the site to be walked into it. And they're doing such a pretty decent job of actually denying NGX of any real foothold off this site. There you go, though. Cine falling down means it's again down to Rudy's to hold down Boathouse all on her own. Frenzy, bullets running out, and so is her health bar. That's all down to Angela, who won't even make it into that city side. And that's a quick round closer there for NGX. And like we've both been saying, this is an opener that NGX really hasn't found. Finally securing the first 2 rounds in the first half here on game number 3. Can they translate it into anything more?
It depends to be seen. They did manage to get that plan, so it's another 300 in the pocket for the side of these Aresta players here, something that they can definitely use. They also do take down one player, I believe, but it's not going to matter for much, as nevertheless the defuse will come through, and they managed to hold on to 2 Spectres and the Marshal as well, so not much damage done in that regard. However, they have managed to work up towards the ultimates, especially Rudy's here, just 1 away from that lockdown coming into play. That Haunt, though, isn't going to really find anything. But now at Legendary is going to be waiting for Aluka to push out. And with that, the first pick will be going to the side of Aresta here as they make their way up towards short. The Prowler as well is going to catch Aya there. She will nevertheless hold on to this angle off the back of that one-way coming in. So things aren't yet hopeless for the side of NGX here as they still retain control, but it's the thing is that the side of Aresta, they don't want to go for that A side at all. They just want to go in for a B hit. They're just making noise and calling in the rotation here, and it's all gonna come down to just Trix, who has to hold on. She will be getting the info off the back of that alarm bot going off towards mid, but I think that these players have sight for free.
Yeah, I mean, NGX just going for the full-on retake instead. Don't really want to contest the Vandals of AGL right now. And they start off pretty beautifully there. Picking up Angela means it's a free upgrade for them. Trix is going to be the trade, but it's a 3 versus 4 here. And it's going to be a bit of a struggle for NGX to make their way into sight. But Aya going down means that, nope, won't be able to inch forward any further. Hold that. Gwen actually picks up Kit Kat. Might be good for a few more kills here. 5 HP left and a dream. Hanu right behind her, but Cine just holding the line. Hanu picks up Cine before going down. That's a fair bit of damage. 3 kills going their way, but NGX unable to pivot that momentum from rounds 1 and 2 into a bonus win. And it all started here with Sentry picking up Aluka. I mean, it's sort of like at this point, it's sort of like the signature play, right, of Aluka Aya on those duelists. They always go on to push up on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if Aresta didn't default for a while, it's a mistake coming in from them, and they don't want to make that. So it's going to be the lockdown available for them, though, as Nigma Galaxy do have their full buy. So as long as Rudy's can stay alive, they will at least be able to get side control off the back of that. However, look at this default coming in from them. They're so patient here. They just want to wait for Aya or Aluka to make a mistake, and Aya will, however, get that headshot and trying to find the second, but will be forced to dash away there as Angela trades out that first pick with Aluka going down yet again. It seems with that the A side is going to be mostly open. Just one player playing towards this under heaven angle right now. Gwen, the last hope for holding onto the side. Will she get cleared? Yep, she will, as KitKat takes her down. 30 HP left on KitKat, but the site has nevertheless gone in the favor of Aresta here as they try to peek and get that first pick. Trix as well. Oh, this is a very, very nasty position coming in from her, and it seems like this round will mostly go in the favor of Aresta here. The Haunt not really able to spot anything, but the fact that it's broken, nevertheless giving away information. And with that, it seems like the side, the retake isn't going to really be happening because these players from Aresta, they're not biting at all, man.
Yeah. NGX minimizing their losses right now. A turret goes out, but it's just a matter of time before the next skill goes through, and Aya actually finding that damage activates the ult too, quite curiously so, but still manages to thin out the numbers of Aresta. And well, Aresta will be able to equalize the scoreline, but great job from Aya making the most out of the situation. They knew that if they attempted for the retake, it's a little bit of a too big of a or too tall of an order to try and fill in, and instead banking on their chances in round number 5, where they're gonna have 2 free guns off of those 2 saves. Hannah and Gwen at the receiving at the shorter end of the stick, sticking to those bulldogs instead. So NGX with a bit of a reset here, 2-2, but still not shaken as of yet. I wonder what their response is going to be to the mid aggression. And it seems like they put a lot more priority in mid, but the rest of they're already adapting. They're going for the lockdown down in B.
I mean, it is going to be the players for the side of Nigma Galaxy playing really aggressively here as they try to prevent any kind of excessive aggression coming in from these players here. KitKat already finding Aluka as she gets, caught in the open as she tries to fall back. Spray trying to find any kind of player here, but not going to find anything. With that, at least the spike should be going down in short order on this B site. But look at Hana's position. She's already TP'd forward here. Oh, gets the wallbang as well onto Cine. Angela will be able to trade it out, but that looked incredibly dangerous there for a second. The flash is well beautiful from Angela. She finds a second on the round. Will eventually go down and bring it to a 3v2 here, but that haunt might reveal both of these players as they're going to be also stifled, I think, by the utility coming through from Aresta. It's so good here as I try to hold on to the side. All of them on side here. The swing from KitKat will find one. Aya left in this 1v1 as she finds 2 somehow. Just Rudy's left. 2 bullets in her gun. Will be forced to play with the classic, and Rudy's, well, she's going to capitalize on that. And Aya, again, in these pivotal situations, in these 1v3s, always able to do so much damage here. But, this is the thing, right? Nigma Galaxy, they had to force out that round. They had to have 2 players on that bulldog. They don't have an economy anymore. And Aresta, well, they're pivoted to take this round, but you can never count Nigma Galaxy out on an ego. That's what we've learned today.
Yeah, especially with that performance that Aya is still having despite playing from the back position. I mean, look at this swing. If she had enough bullets, perhaps things would have been very different there for Aya. But nonetheless, as you mentioned, the state of the game is that NGX, they forced bot last round, so it's only the Sheriffs this time, but Aya still looks to make that aggressive play happen. Hunter's Fury is gonna get called up from Gwen, actually, but it's a little bit too early because nobody's in sight as of yet. Cine actually makes her way into sight with the rest of their team as Aresta made their way into that B side. Trix will be able to find one. Sheriff in the hands of Aya. Of course, it's going to be a struggle to find any headshots with this, but attempt nonetheless as she picks up that upgrade and makes her way into main. Oh, Sentry almost fell there. The timing on that smoke was uncanny. Trix going to be able to spot out that, but Aya, Trix, and Gwen to fall down. Sentry still holding the line. Hannah will be the one to pick up these frags as she gets suppressed by that KO knife, but actually she's terrorizing down the site as she makes her way into the boathouse side for the 3K. Chef goes absolutely massive, but time is of the essence and Sentry has got the upper hand. She's gonna push this up. She's gonna fall down as well, but it diffused. There's just not enough time, but NGX, they made it so close.
Oh my god, Hanu went absolutely ham there with those headshots on that Sheriff. And, I gotta appreciate Sendri there. She knew her timings perfectly. She knew that all she had to do was buy like a few more seconds, and she whiffs all her shots. She keeps the spray good enough to get the round from going into Aresta's favor. I'm sorry, in the favor of Nigma Galaxy there. But what a play, what a round coming in from Hanu there. It was uncanny, the positioning and the plays. And with that, it's going to be Trix who has the lockdown, and Hanu having the from the shadows as well, enabling a little bit of a quick rotate coming through. The aggression again coming through for the side of Nigma Galaxy as Aluka tries to find some kind of pick or some kind of control. So far, she hasn't been very successful, I've got to say. Very uncharacteristic of her, having a little bit of trouble finding the timing perhaps. But again, look at this. Rudy's already has her lockdown back. So yet again, we might be seeing a possible B hit or an A hit coming through off the back of, both the ultimate from the KJ, sorry, but I'm completely starstruck after Sino gets that beautiful headshot here, and that's going to open up the A side for business, as both of these players are still going to be stuck towards B. KitKat as well, taking down Aya with that spray. It looks like it's going to be A side plant coming through any second now.
Yeah, Trix activating that lockdown to try and prevent that from happening. And it works. NGX, they're asserting their dominance here. Counter lockdown gonna be there, but Trix holding the line against KitKat. Might be seeing some detainees here. Just in the nick of time, they make their way out of A and into mid. Trix, Aluka, and Hanu now have to play the guessing game of where the routes are going to be. Trix has a pretty good idea. She knows that they're gonna take the long way around and doesn't want to contest this as of yet. She hears a lot of these footsteps coming in, both of them being heard. Sentry turret comes out. She's gonna come out at just the right timing. She knows they're already made their way into sight, so the plan of attack here is to attack while the positions aren't there, while the Cosmic Divide isn't out yet, but it's a little bit too late now. NGX, can they actually translate this win? Aluka picks up Senderi. It's all down to Rudy's now. Doesn't have any utility anymore, but she does pick up Aluka. That's about it. NGX back on the board, 3-4.
Thanks. Had a lot of investments coming in from both of these teams here. Multiple ultimates being popped here. You saw the Cosmic Divide. You saw both the lockdowns, in fact, and of course the From the Shadows from Hanu. And that was really good coming in from the side of NGX because they managed to find a lot of impact with the back of those ultimates, especially KitKat going down there was huge. You know, even if she managed to take down Trix with her, it would have been a different story. But she just went down for free there, and that was really unfortunate for the side of Aresta. They do get the plant. I think that, but it's not gonna matter because of the fact of how close these rounds are going. It's gonna push them into an eco, so they have a lot of work to do here. They do have, I believe, the ultimate available for the KO here, the null command, but I don't think they're really gonna be using it as they try to make their way onto what seems to be the ace site. A bit of a default coming through though, not really anything, and not any players being spotted out here. The turret though will give away the position of at least one, and it's going to do quite a bit of damage along with the wallbang to Angela, who is down to half her HP already.
Yeah. Trix, oh, peeks out at the perfect timing to catch out Cine off guard. But Sentry to thin out the numbers of NGX there, so 4 versus 3 still upgrade in the works for Sentry. They still want to press on down in Ace site, despite, or with the null command rather, aiding them. Empress is going to be there for a response, and she's just going to pick up 2. Go pop off, why don't you, Aluka? Pick up 3, and 1 more in the works. Trix will be securing that. And NGX equalize, man. This series is just a complete pendulum here, and back it swings to NGX's favor. But we've seen how well Aresta has been able to cope with NGX's explosive playstyle. No technical pause is coming out, but 4-4, both teams have a reset on their eco. And man, this seriously cannot get closer than this here, Zach.
That's for sure. You know, Nigma Galaxy does have a little bit more in the bank here, but 1 or 2 losses, it's going to be reset again. So definitely going huge here. This is interesting that Nigma Galaxy is not running an operator on this defense at all. You did see Aluka go for it in the last game, but this game she's like, nope, I'm just going to go with my Vandal and go hit some headshots, which we saw in the last round as well. Sure, it was against Sheriffs, but we've seen how nutty some of these Sheriff kills can be. So definitely you cannot count her out at all here. A lot of ultimates available. Not a lot of ultimates available, sorry, for either side. However, they do have the null command for the side of Aresta, and only 1 away from the Nightfall as well. So with that, they might be able to make a super aggressive push towards any of these sites, because I think both of these ultimates have the range to cover the entire site. So that's going to be a lot of utility, a lot of stuff shut down, which is why Trix is probably playing where she is. You can see her just vibing towards a short here. She doesn't want to play on site and risk possibly getting shut down. Because, you know, a Killjoy is an agent which can single-handedly hold down a side, and she's been proving her worth really well so far in this matchup.
Yeah. A little bit more of an aggressive setup in the works here in B main for Nigma Galaxy, it seems like. Putting 2 members down, just peeking out straight from B main, and then just a single alarm bot down in market, while Aya is going to be there to provide that backup. So NGX looking ready to receive this perfect read, it seems like, because I mean, while they do have the null command, it's gonna be so easy to stop still as long as they get the frags through. And for sure it's gonna be risky for Nigma Galaxy, but at this point they're gonna take all the risks that they can just to find the upper hand against Aresta. Again, folks, have to apologize because we are experiencing some technical issues with some of our players, but it seems like we're continuing with the game right now. Anyway, yeah, no command is gonna be ready here for Angela, who I would expect is gonna be triggering that pretty soon. First contact is gonna be here, and the rest are struggling to find that space into sight.
Oh, but that was such a good round coming in from them, Matt. You do see the trades coming in quick order. Three players, in fact, going in for a super aggressive B push here. Aluka, especially, she starts things off along with Hanu finding the first pick. But nevertheless, it's going to be Aluka who takes down two as Rudy tries to get the trade here. And of course, towards the end, Aya does jump in and get some action as well. So definitely a great round coming in for the side of Nigma Galaxy. A complete shutdown. And with that, it's going to be yet another eco being forced for the side of Aresta here. They do have one sheriff, a Spectre, and a couple of a couple of sheriffs on board, one marshal, sorry, but it's not going to be enough here as they try to again go for some mid control.
Yeah.
Cindy, especially on that Jet, I don't know, she was so good on the Reyna, but on Jet she seems to be having some trouble here.
Yeah. It's gonna be so rough here. Angela still has, of course, that ulti. So does Kit Kat, but against the reinforced firepower here of NGX, it's gonna be so hard to find that real estate.
Oh my god.
What a shot right there. Cindy opens up that a little bit more control down in mid. Might actually discombobulate the members of NGX enough for them to reconsider their positioning as of the moment. But no matter, Jets are slowly making their way into that mid. Contact is so close, but just misses each other by a nick.
Oh, but look at this fight between City and Aya here. Aya, especially so low, will be forced to fall back. Plus, we have her teammate as some backup here. And look at Senderi. She's going to spot out Gwen as well. Just a little bit of damage, I think, but it's not going to really be enough here. The armor does go down, but look at this. Aya still holding steady here with this low HP. Finding 3 on the round already, on track for the ace. I don't think she cares if she doesn't have HP. She still wants to go in for these frags and absolutely devastate the side of Aresta here with only 2 players left towards this main here. 14 seconds left on the clock. Doesn't look like they can really do anything. If they try to push in well, it's gonna be Aya and Gwen ready for them. Three for Aya, 2 for Gwen, and with that, Nigma Galaxy are 6-4 right now on this defense. But the thing is, on a map like Ascent, I would say that defense is definitely just a little bit easier, and they're really able to capitalize off that because they're just like, yeah, you know what, Trix, you hold on to this site. If you want try to get a couple of picks, we'll play Ray retake, and the rest of us, we're just gonna try and go ham on the rest of the map. So that strategy is working out for them really well so far. This round, though, is going to be really crucial to Aresta because they need to somehow win this so that the gap isn't too much here, so they can get a 7-5 or possible 6-6 half. It is their full buy and their last chance to full buy as well.
The problem, though, is that Aresta's comp really is more geared towards the attacking side, and have they made the most out of it? I'm not particularly sure because Angela's held on to that ult for what, 4 rounds now, 3 rounds, and they haven't been able to translate much out of the KO pick, I would say, or the double initiator for that matter. So Aresta are looking to secure as much rounds as they can here on the attacking side while they have that oppressive advantage on the KO. And I would say Nigma Galaxy on this defense pretty happy with this 2-round lead because once they go and flip the script, once they go to the attack, that's where Aya and Aluka are going to shine even more than they're shining right now. And well, the economy's already built up too, so NGX looking geared to secure this round for themselves too, and then secure the advantage for that second half, but not if AGL's got something to say about it. Okay, Aluka pushing up, and Aya. And speaking of Aluka and Aya, there you go. They pop off once more. They pick up Rudy's, but on the flip side of things, the site is being pummeled here by the members of AG as they get the spike down in A.
Oh my god, though, look at this flaying players coming in for the side of Aresta here, and I don't know if Aresta is going to be expecting this as 3 players from Nigma Galaxy are already all the way up. Already Gwen taking out Cini there, that's huge. Just 1 player left, Senderi in this 1v4 to try and clutch things out. Tries to swing, but Aluka's ready for it, and with that, it's going to be a 7-4 scoreline for Nigma Galaxy. And And that push from Aya and Aluka was just beautiful there because
Yeah.
they just knew that Rudy's would have to watch for a push. They expected this the Nightfall to try and attack the A side. They knew that Rudy's would have to be lurking somewhere towards mid or B side, and they managed to just hunt her down and take her off the board here. And with that, there's no flank watchers, so they're just gonna be able to get the perfect backstab onto these players. Again,
Yeah.
though, it is going to be Rudy's who has that ultimate to work with. In fact, 4 players still from the side of Aresta are gonna be forced to play with this light armor here. It doesn't matter because, to be fair, Nigma Galaxy does have just Vandos and Operators, which are all one-shot headshot or one-shot body shot weapons here. So definitely not a huge deal, but nevertheless, it might prove to be huge here. Oh no, that kill is gonna come through from Strix as that reveal catches 3 players off guard. Look at the second as well. Strix is going ham here towards a short angle, and she wants more. She's not slowing down anytime soon here, with Aya pushing up as well. Off the back of that, just 3 players left right now for the side of Aresta as they try to recalibrate themselves to try and make things work. But so far, they haven't gained an inch of space. While Nigma Galaxy, they've taken a mile here, Matt.
Yeah. Beautiful stuff there from Gwen. Perfect recon bolt, and then the Hunter's Fury to get tricks those 2 easy kills. And again, that puts Aresta in an awkward position despite having these huge ultimates. Rather, ultimate now, with Angela being the only one. And I believe they haven't used the null command once on this attack here, Zach, because they've been reserving it for the perfect opportunity. But now, time is not really there anymore. They should really utilize this while they can. Sharp Grenade's gonna be used. Cosmic Divide comes out from Sendry. Finally, here comes the null command. Kit Kat, who gets one spotted, but Angela going down means that she can still be resurrected here. Gwendo making it a headache for them to get into sight. So is Trix for the 3K now. Means that Sendry's all alone, and despite the ult helping her out, there's not really anything going her way. And NGX cements their 4-round advantage, 8-4.
Switching sides.
That was an interesting choice of an Astra ult coming in for the side of NGX, I would say. And yeah, well, it managed to... I'm sorry, for the side of Aresta here, because it only blocks off Heaven. It still leaves short open, and without a smoke, well, it's just going to be open season for the side of the Aresta players. They just go down there, and with that, Nigma Galaxy take a very, very convincing 8-4 half going into this map here. I think it was the same as well on Haven. It was an 8-4 half, and well, we saw how that ended. It was 13-6. The question is, will we be seeing a repeat of that? Because so far, it seems like if you put Aluka and Aya on that double deal list, they're going to close things out.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, they haven't been having the best of starts as compared to the rest of the series, but now it seems like they're online once more, and they're here to terrorize the map. I mean, really, the double initiator, especially when you have a KO at hand, it's super oppressive if you got so many frags going for that KO, right? But the fact of the matter is, Angela doesn't have that much in her belt right now, and that round was just proof of it. I believe, I'm not sure if it's the first or the second time that the KO ult was used in that half, and honestly, it's at a very, very awkward spot, because typically you want to use that KO ult when you have at least a number advantage or even equalized manpower, right? And you have all of your utility to work with, and of course the smokes to help that assault with. But when you use it at such an awkward spot as well to try and go for the 3 versus 5 clutch, it's not really going to be enough, especially when you don't have your controller anymore. So it's definitely a tough spot to be in, but Aresta can get creative with it. Of course, they do still have the upper hand when it comes to the utility side of things, so perhaps things aren't too late for them if they secure this pistol.
Definitely. We've seen the momentum that getting the pistol gives to these teams here. And I think that Arista, they need to try and hold on to it, grab onto it, so that they don't face a repeat of what happened in Haven. Because in that case, Nigma Galaxy did get that pistol. So things weren't looking very good from 10 to 4 there. They did manage to get 2 more rounds after that, but it's just map over. The deficit is too much. But let's get back into the game and see if Aresta can take this pistol going forward here. Looking at the fact that Aluka, they're gonna be on defense. They do have a little bit of an advantage. Killjoy, especially if played
Oh
properly,
yeah.
can lock down a side, and we saw how Trix did that, right? She was basically holding on to A or B by herself, while the rest of her team were able to take mid or the opposite side here. And look at this going in. It's the read from the side of Aresta is quite right. There are 3 players towards this B side here, while there is one towards mid as well. It seems like Aluka and Aya are going in for a very, very, very quick push towards this A side here. The first point of contact is going to be that turret, of course, and it might be able to spot them out and possibly even call in a rotation. Yep, that's going to be the rotation coming through in quick order, but the spike is still waiting outside B here.
Oh.
It's going to be just Senderi who has to hold back the push if they decide to come in right now, and she might be falling off as well.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Bit of a. Actually, no. They decide to go back into their original positions. So just that one bit of information is not going to be enough for the bait. But instead, NGX repositioned themselves into A side. Both of these duelists detected by the KO knife. Angela looking for those frags. Weren't able to get those kills, but didn't make her way into sight now. Sentry hoping to hold the line, but Aya to shut her down. Here comes the party, essentially. NGX making their way into B site. And, well, Aresta has to go for the retake. And essentially going down in the hands of Aya with the plant finally making its way down into B.
Oh no, the spoke spam is good there as Gwen takes down KitKat. Aluka finding one as well. It's all down to Cine here. 34 HP with just being spammed through the smoke, and Aya again with the 3K. I want to know how many 3Ks Aya had in this series so far, because it seems like every time she gets one, it's a win for Nigma Galaxy. And with that, they take the pistol and are very, very close to taking an overwhelming lead here from the side of Aresta. Things not looking too good for them. They are going to be going in for some pistols. We do see a shorty as well, but man, that was just so unfortunate. The smoke spam especially, that was so good coming in from Nigma Galaxy. They found 2 kills as well as so much damage through that on that B side here. And this is the tragedy, right? Even though they did have 3 players around that area, they weren't really able to make anything happen. Again, Nigma Galaxy, they're going to be playing a little bit patiently, possibly going in for a mid to be push here, but the stack, Aresta's players are all going to be on this A side here.
Oh, the shorty. Oh, she doesn't clear the corner, but what? She doesn't fall down either. I'll look how to pick up the 2 kills. Okay, but at least they bounce back off of that. And NGX still shutting down all hope for Aresta now. Sentry the last one standing. There's a plethora of guns available here, mostly pistols, but be happy with an upgrade for that shorty. Instead, she gets spotted out by Aluka, who wants to close the doors right now. Smoke goes down at the perfect time for Aluka. And there you have it, NGX 10-4, looking to end the game right now. But Aresta, I doubt they'll go down without a fight. I mean, that's the tune of this series so far, right? It's either one of these teams goes ahead, and then the other team swipes back that lead. But this time looking a lot less doable for Aresta. 10-4, 6 rounds. I believe this is the most since game number 1.
I think that it was the same story on Haven as well. It was a 10-4 by this time as well. And the thing is, right now they have to make this full buy work. They have to really try and capitalize it. And yep, Cine is going to start things off with the crisp headshot onto Aluka there, who goes down. Not exactly a good, not really a good idea to peek that angle when you only have a Spectre. And Cine is going to make her pay for it. Cine is saying it's not really over yet. We still have some fight in us as she gets that shot. In the meantime, Nigma Galaxy's players seem like they want to go in for this B hit here. Gwen investing that Silva drone to try and clear out these close angles. The question is, will she spot anything for her troubles? Does note that the Fade is on site, if nothing else. So that is one more thing that they will have to contend with. In the meantime, though, Aya is making her way up towards this A site here. If she can get this headshot onto Rudy's, it might be exactly what she needs. But I think Rudy spotted her out with that jump peek here. And will be able to, in fact, get that kill onto Aya here, even though she goes down to 21 HP. Just 3 players left right now for Nigma Galaxy, and they haven't gotten any map control anywhere here. If Aya had been able to find that pick onto Rudy's, that would have been the A side, possibly a little bit more accessible. But right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case here, as Angela, she's going to push out, finds a pick, and will be able to fall back safely. It's important that Aresta not only win this round, but also win it with as many players alive as possible. And that's exactly what they're trying to do here. Trix doing a little bit of damage right now, but it's just going to be her in this 1v5. Doesn't even have the spike map.
Yeah, Just looking for some X frags now, but with 5 crosshair aimed at her head, what much can she get? Seems like 2. Can she get more? No, she can't. But well, she accomplished her mission. Deny the flawless. And they're still at 10-5 here. Still 2 rounds away from match point. But what an opener there for Cine. Absolutely destroying Alika.
That was such a clean shot. Like, I saw it and I was like, there's no way she hits that. That's why people do the jump pick and she just takes her out. That must be an ouch there for the Reina. Alika really probably not, enjoying
Ready,
that. But this is the full buy for them. So this is the round which Nigma Galaxy can completely steal the momentum away. Question is, will they be able to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, if the last 15 rounds is of any indication, Nigma Galaxy are pretty set to do so. They go for the B-side stack instead this time. So this is the conditioning that Nigma Galaxy's been doing. They always send a couple of lurkers here and there, but this time everyone is huddled up here. And with Aya opening up the site with KitKat there, Cine's gonna be forced to back off, and Rudy's in again an awkward spot here. Gonna meet all of them with open arms, but she's not even gonna find one kill. Gwen kills her. Now 3 versus 5 off the back of those couple of frags going away with Nigma. And now retake commences here, Zach.
It's going to be a 5v3. The advantage is in the hands of Nigma Galaxy, but Angela is slowly bringing it back here, finding one. Alika, though, gets that refrag here. It's going to fall down to just Cine right now in this 1v4 situation, and she's not going to find anything because that smoke goes away at just the wrong time. And with that, Nigma Galaxy, they're going to be on 11 here, 1 away from match point, 2 away from series and game point here. So things are looking really, really rough for Aresta, especially considering that they're barely going to be able to buy in this round. They don't have any ultimates either to work with. They only have that null command, which they've had struggle utilizing before as well.
Yeah.
On the opposite side, the Nigma Galaxy, they've built up their bank and they're looking very, very confident on this attacking half.
Yeah. 11-5. You know what's funny, Zach? The other match, the best of 5, it's done.
Yeah, I just
Orangutan has
noticed.
already won against Xset. So congratulations, Orangutan. They will be advancing. Or they've already qualified for
Yeah,
Elite.
they've qualified to Elite.
But back to the game at hand, NGX 11-5 and a massive firepower advantage as again it's the 2 duelists, Aya and Alika, making their way into that tree area. The dash will be there for the bait, and 2 members being sent up so far forward here. Are they going to be ready for this though? They're so close! Tricks not ready for that! Senderi going to capitalize, but the paranoia is absolutely beautiful. Hannah decides to back off though, so they're going to be making their way down into sight from tree though, but this might be a little bit dangerous here. 4 versus 5. Pincer here from the members of Aresta, and Gwen getting decimated by Cine there means that it's an absolutely scary spot to be in. Alika will be able to get that shot off against Cine, but still, upgrades in the works for Senderi, and they're making their way back into sight, but one by one they fall like flies. And Rudy's and KitKat, do they have it in them to save this round, to translate it into anything more than eco damage here for Aresta? These Rudies will be able to get that upgrade and that 1 kill onto Hannah. KitKat making her way down in from heaven. Only Marshall in hand though, so has to hit the headshots, but it's gonna be so hard against a bobbing and weaving Reina as Alika shuts down KitKat. Defuse not even being able to be stuck here by Rudy's. No more bullets on the band though, but Frenzy comes out. So does the classic, but all she has to do is buy the time, and she does. Alika gets the kill too, 12-5. NGX get themselves to match point.
That was really unfortunate for the side of Rudy's there because she needed to stick half of the spike when KitKat was holding the 2 players under heaven with the Marshall. She knew the locations of them as well, so that was just unfortunate. After this, if she'd been able to stick half, it might have been a different story, but it's going to be Alika who gets a 3k and gets the round on the back of that. With that, it seems like it's going to be almost game over for the side of Aresta. They do have ultimates as well as some bandos to work with, but they need to win 7 rounds in a row to possibly make a comeback here. And well, it's rough. Like you mentioned though, the first match, I think the other match that was happening today, right? The qualification match for Elite. Well, OG were 1-11 and then they came back to 1-14 as well. So you never know. It could always happen. And Angela gets that flick, that dirty shot onto Hanu there. There's gonna be no more smokes for the side of Aresta here. Tricks already trying to get that spike and the possible trade back, but we'll at least be able to retrieve the spike. In the meantime, Aya, look at her position. She's already so close to this defender spawn here. And with that, I think they might be able to get that A side. Look at the position of Aya and Alaka. Oh my god.
Make their way into A with the most unconventional of routes, and actually just barely misses Cindy, who has been holding on to that defender side spawn control for the longest time this round. They might be surprised with how close Alaka is. Recon Bolt will be there to help her out, clear out some of these angles. But Sin might be closer than she is expecting. She's gonna be not cleared out, but double peeked instead. And the Sin and Kit Kat pick up one apiece, but the lockdown gonna buy so much time here for Trix and Gwen on the 2v4. They get one player detained, but how much can they actually translate off of that lockdown with the Hunter Fury up? Uh-oh, this is looking pretty scary, even though it's a 2 versus 4 still. Trix roaming in from hell! She picks up 2! And now the Hunter's Fury being called upon. He's gonna be able to buy enough time. Cine uses the updraft to stay alive, so she's got to contest this. Uh-oh, can she actually secure it? Yes, she does! Gwen to close out the game, and then GX 13-5. They're gonna be moving up, and they swipe Aresta off of the map.
Oh my god, that 2v4 was absolutely insane, and what a win coming in for the side of Nigma Galaxy, who, like you mentioned, will be moving on. And with that, that's going to be GG's for Aresta. They played really well, but I think that's going to be the end of their run. In overtime, we will be seeing them back, however, in the last chance qualifier, though, so it's not the end of the road for them quite yet. But nevertheless, we have to talk about Nigma Galaxy, especially in those last few rounds. I think the only round that they lost was the bonus. Every single Byron after that, they just won. They just swept it clean to deny Aresta any kind of chance of mounting a comeback there. So it was just a beautiful game coming in from them. And of course, Aya and Aluka, man. While there was so much havoc happening down towards B, main or mid or whatever, they just walk up short. They're like, hello there, how are you doing? They get all the way up to defender spawn and then fall back, retain A control. And again, like you mentioned, get so much time on the board. Like, even if they fall, the defense really has to clear out a lot of angles. So let's take a look at the scoreboard to see who is going to be the MVP for this match, whether it's going to be Aluka or Aya for Nigma Galaxy. And yep, it's going to be Aya yet again. 340 for AC. Yes, Aluka right behind her with 258. Both these players have been the stars for Nigma Galaxy today. Of course, Trix as well, along with Gwen, so pivotal in the last run, utility-wise, closing things out. So, of course, a very, very well-balanced game coming in from Nigma Galaxy. It's not just their star duelists who are shining. And, of course, for the side of Aresta, Kit Kat, she came in late, but she came in swinging in these last two maps. But it's not going to be enough with just her, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like the rest of NGX, apart from Aya and Aluka, has been always super consistent, right? They are the rocks upon which, the whole team relies on. But when you get Aya and Aluka going, really, when you give them that momentum, I think this whole series is just a testament to how much of an advantage momentum can give you, especially for teams that rely on it. NGX, they looked so good on the first and third games. On game 2, they were unable to get that ball rolling for themselves, so to speak, which is why they struggled a little bit to close the game out. But game 1 and 3, completely different story. Gotta give props to Aresta as well. They put up such a good fight, but at the end of the day, I feel like the fundamentals, NGX really just has it a little bit more in their favor.
I mean, it comes with the fact that they've been playing. I think that they've had very, very little in the name of roster changes. They've always had the core of Aya and Aluka to back them up, and Trix as well. She's been around since the very beginning for the side of Nigma Galaxy. So something that's definitely something that's definitely to look out for with this team here. The consistency that they've always shown. So let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow as well, because I think that we will be having both a qualifier game as well as a loser bracket game. It's going to be Fear Eater Sierra versus Big Sight here. And again, this is an elimination best of 3. So whoever loses this, they're going to be out of overtime as well. So definitely a match to watch out for. Like we mentioned already, Matt, there's a lot on the line here for these teams. A chance at Elite, a chance at international LAN events in Berlin. So much in this, so much to really play for and strive for. And that's exactly what I think pushed the side of Nigma Galaxy to just dominate in this third map. I think it was what 13-5. They got that fire.
Yeah, they're really going for that lower bracket run. And that's it for the day, ladies and gents. Join us again tomorrow for Fear Eater Sierra versus Big Sight for the next best of three lower bracket. But for now, this is me, Datum, saying good night with Zach. Thank you guys for watching. Again, this is the VCT Game Changers APAC Open Overtime. And we'll see you again next time. Good night.